in 44 minutes at the Arizona Biltmore at the NFL owners meetings and the NFC coaches breakfast. The first time he will have spoken to reporters other than when he was there for his brother's introduction in Arizona, oddly enough, about a month and a half ago. And most importantly, the triumphant return of Old Boy edition of Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, ESPNWisconsin.com, the ESPN app, your Alexa smart speaker, streaming live video, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and of course everything you need on the magnificent, phenomenal, incredible, free, and all customizable ESPN Wisconsin app, which you can find both in the Apple and Android app stores. I'm Jason Wilde in Green Bay. Jesse Nelson is in the Everlight Solar ESPN Madison studios. And a big, huge, enormous thank you to our outstanding cousin subs. Cousin subs, we believe in better. Brian Bulaga, John Anderson, Jesse Nelson, Hunter Vaughn, and the Pro Football Hall of Famer Joe Thomas. We appreciate them all. But the straw that stirs our Tito's infused, Coors Light chased drink is back. And he's yawning because the introduction's been so long.
That was a long introduction.
A long one.
Yeah. 4 minutes.
It is the Packers Hall of Famer, Mark Tauscher. Tausch, welcome back.
It's good to be back. It's good to be back. When Jesse and you do the show, who hosts?
Me. I still host.
I think Jesse should host and Jason should step into my chair.
Well, I mean, we're both hosts of the show,
no,
just like you both
can't.
are
No, there's
hosts
not
of
two
the
starting
show.
pitchers. There's one starting pitcher. Who's the
opener?
Yeah, who started?
Jason's Ashby, and I'm the Miz.
Oh, so Jason throws an inning and then you throw 6, 5, whatever it is?
Yeah,
Okay.
He gets it going, and then I come in and I hammer the deal home.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You're the Miz, huh?
Well, whatever works. The Brew Crew obviously off to a hot start. You guys were down in Milwaukee. You were not down in Milwaukee for the opener.
We were not. We were here.
Okay.
Yeah. Bill Schroeder, Dom Catronio both
But a
joined us on
buck
opening
62-0 is still in play,
Yeah,
so
sure
that's
is.
off to a good start. The this little hat tap deal is going, right? That's something that's new for the
Lot of hat
baseball
tapping.
season.
Mm-hmm.
Has there been a lot? I have not seen any because I don't know what channel the Brewers games are on yet, and I haven't been here. Has there been a lot of hat tapping?
The Twins manager got ejected for arguing a replay, which I thought was interesting.
Been a lot of hat tapping.
A lot of hat tapping, yeah. By pitchers and batters.
Which either tells you the umpires get it wrong a lot and these guys know what they're doing because a lot of these are getting overturned and so they get to keep hat tapping as long as they get them right.
Oh, if you get it right, you get
to keep going, yeah.
Each player gets one hat tap, or is it per
you
team?
get 2 per team, but you lose it if you get it wrong. If you get it right, you get to keep going.
So just wait, you get one wrong, you're done for the game.
No, if you get 2 wrong, you're done for the game.
Okay, but if you get one wrong and then you get the next one right, you continue to get until you're wrong.
Yeah, you only lose
So
one of
2
your 2
wrong
when you
and
get
you're
it wrong.
done.
Yeah.
You can get 15 right and you're good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a lot. That's tough for those umps.
And they're being proven wrong on all these, which I don't like, but we're here.
Because you're an ump
Yeah,
at heart.
it's part of the game.
Okay.
Well, maybe
All
you
right,
could
so-
apply to be an NFL official because
All
apparently
right.
there's going to be some openings for that.
That's another opportunity that people could get into. So I had a good trip. We went out to California. We're a little different this year, and as Max is in high school, we're limited. We couldn't take the young fella. He had to stay back because he had baseball tryouts. So it was just Sarah and myself and Eleanor. We had a nice trip. We were able to catch up with the Davenports, and I found something because the Midwest is great. I am always going to be a Midwesterner. I love the weather. It was 80, like low 80s, just absolutely gorgeous the entire time we were out there. And that's obviously a huge plus, and that's why people live out there, I believe. But the trends do start west and east, and then they merge towards the middle. Can we all agree on that? Whether it's trends you like or trends you don't, fashion, music, all the other stuff, it does seem like those trends happen, and then eventually it's a couple of years sometimes before it gets to the Midwest. I think I see the future. I think I see something coming, and I want to be first to tell all of our fans here in the Midwest about it. So we had our trip, and then we went and caught up with the Davenports the Friday night. Saturday, we flew back yesterday. And as they have a bunch of kids, we were able to hang out, and I see what is coming. I've seen flag football here with girls. It's starting to pick up speed a little bit, but not anywhere that a degree of what it is out there. So they have a young daughter. I don't know, 5 or 6 years old. She's plays, and there were kids everywhere playing. Girls playing everywhere. They're high school. They have high school that plays, and I'm starting to find out that teams and colleges are giving scholarships. What is going to happen in 5 years? Jesse Nelson, here's my prediction. Put it down in a little deal. We are going to be bookended with Friday night women's flag football, and it's going to be, if Rutgers is coming to Wisconsin to play a Saturday afternoon game, the women's teams will play prime time on Fridays throughout the Big Ten. That is going to happen, and it's going to happen sooner rather than later. You're going to see flag football, women's flag football, as a Big Ten sport sooner than you can blink. It's coming. And it's going to be, in my recommendation to the Big Ten, at no cost to you, is play them on that Friday night before. What do you guys think?
So, did you see the Davenport's daughter play while you were there? Like, give us an idea of how prevalent this is.
So, as I just said, Friday we went and watched her play, and there were teams everywhere. It was like these soccer fields where you see 15 games going on. They have it set up where there is a midfield point. You have to get past the midfield point after 3 plays, or you give the ball up. And so there's 5-year-olds. There's all the way up till... And there's high school football, flag football within these schools in California that are playing, and they're starting to get scholarships to different colleges. So this is popping, and I think we're way behind. I didn't know this. I've seen some growth of it here, but it's a tsunami that is coming, and I believe we should get out in front of it, and I think the Big Ten should spearhead it. And this is the way to do it. I think we should start with that, and I think it's going to be a big hit.
So Eleanor went and watched too?
That is correct, yes.
Did she express any interest in football?
It's not going to be her game, no. It's too late. Football is one of those sports that I think you could start later than any other sport, but it's not in her wheelhouse, I don't believe.
So how far behind do you think we are for this tsunami crashing into the Midwest?
I think it will pick up, but I feel like you're going to see a lot of California, Nevada, Arizona, Texas. I think it's going to be that is going to feed the system because I think that they're doing it at a much more quantitative number than what we are, and that's what I think we're going to see.
And do we have any idea how this all started? Since we're so far behind.
The NFL has done a fantastic job.
I've seen them talk about it. I didn't know that it was as prevalent as you're telling me it is.
Matt Leinert's name was everywhere out here. It was like the Matt Leinart camps. And
glory days.
I don't know nobody could wear number 11. Like there was no number 11s anywhere out on the field.
That's a really good line. Well done.
But he, I think, is a big spearheader of it. I think the NFL is dumping a lot of money and it's absolutely genius because obviously – demographically, they want to get more female interest in their sport, so they've done that. And maybe this is just going to be a flash in the pan. I don't think so, though, man. I see. You look around. That was one of the big takeaways I got from our Sunsplash trip was this is coming, and I think the Big Ten. I think Wisconsin, as we've shown, not only are we a great hockey school, we're a kick-blank female sports school. We could spearhead this. This could be we could be the trailblazers of the Big Ten by starting one of these teams.
How much of it do you think is just that the Olympics are going to be out there soon and they want to strum up because that's part of the Olympics coming?
It is.
So
is there a female flag
I
football?
believe they're doing men's and women. I
Okay.
don't know for sure. I think they're doing men's and women's.
Okay. It could be a part. I mean, obviously, it could be a big part of it, but there's, I think, popularity-wise, you're going to see it. And who knows, Jesse? I literally just it was something that I took a note, and I thought thought you guys would be intrigued by it because obviously we all are big fans of female sports, or we have girls that play, and this is going to. I do wonder how many people are going to be super intrigued as we saw the Olympic flag football guys. That didn't draw well with Tom Brady and everybody else getting their butts kicked by the Olympic guys. So I don't know how much of a yearning we're going to have for watching flag football. That's the part I don't know. Obviously, everybody that was there was friends or family that were watching the games. But I do think that this is something, and then when you start looking at Title IX issues and all the other things that are in play, that's going to help too. So that's what I think. I'm just going to give you my analysis from my West Coast trip, and I think I'm going to be right.
A couple more things. First of all, Jesse is correct. The 2028 Olympics will include both men's and women's flag football, which should give it an even greater boost, wouldn't you think? And then on top of that, I am curious. We've been told before that soccer is the new
No,
sport,
I know. I never
right?
said that, but I understand why people did.
We've been told that before. We have seen lacrosse get some traction, but certainly not major traction in the U.S. Field hockey, I guess, to some degree for women. Do you think this, because it's football and everybody loves football, has a better shot of becoming something that is woven into our sports fabric than those other? Because there's a lot of people that love soccer. I'm not here dissing soccer. There's a lot of people that play soccer growing up, but I don't know if it's drawn the same passion at the college and professional level. So I'm curious about that. And then I'm also, you called them, say it was genius. I would agree. It appears that the NFL figured out that the next frontiers for expanding their brand and, more importantly, much more income are international fans and female fans. And that's what they're targeting with their next frontiers. Right?
I would think that's I think a fairly accurate statement. I don't think it's ever going to get like uber popular, but I think it will be football popular, and football popular is better than almost any other sport.
Will it be more popular than the UFL, which I stumbled upon a couple times flipping through channels over the weekend?
That's a good question. No.
Because I don't know how popular the UFL is.
No, the UFL gets a couple million people, right? They're on ABC and Fox. I don't know. Spring football has always been an uphill battle. I think it will come down to if you have some stars and you could build it, and if it's tied in with your universities, it will be a bigger draw, and people will be intrigued, and there will be more of a natural follow. So that's the only way. You can't just have Sun Prairie play Ashwaubenon. Like, it's got to be its association with the University of Wisconsin, the Northwestern University. That, to me, is your draw. That's where this is going to go if it's going to get any traction.
I'm seeing UFL ratings in 24, 812,000 average.
I thought it was more than that.
In 25, it decreased to 645,000 average viewers.
Yeah, stars, and it's tough. Yeah, maybe. Who knows? All I'm saying, again, and I'll put a bow on this, is this is coming. And I think getting out in front of it and being a pioneer or a trailblazer in this makes a lot of sense if I'm over at the University of Wisconsin. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I am now curious. I'm going to look up which WIAA member schools have girls flag football. Well, Tausch tells us about Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Indeed, in our homes, they need to be ready for just about anything in Wisconsin year-round. That's why Pella focuses on quality and durability in everything that they do. The right windows and doors can vastly improve your home's comfort, efficiency, and overall styling. With Pella, you'll always get those expert recommendations designed around your home with your needs and, of course, in your budget. Don't miss out on this 0% financing until 2032. Who knows? Wisconsin may have a female flag national championship team like they have in hockey, they have had in volleyball in the past. Again, 0 financing for 6 more years. The offer ends at the end of the month, which unfortunately is coming tomorrow. Visit PellaWI.com today to learn more.
The WIAA does have girls flag football. Unfortunately, it is the Washington Interscholastic Athletic Association that I first found. They had their championships on Valentine's Day. So they crowned a champion in high school girls flag football. I do not see that listed among the sports that are currently available to Wisconsin high school athletes. Tausch is back, and we're excited. More still ahead. It's Wilde Tausch.
Wilde Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio. All day, every day. The Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you.
We're not trying to get from A to B. We're trying to get from A to SB, as in the Super Bowl.
800-990-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel neglected or unloved? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
I'm Coach Greg Gard, and I've spent my career teaching young men the fundamentals of basketball: preparation, hard work, teamwork. But here's what else I've learned. Those fundamentals don't apply just to the court. They apply to life, and they apply to your finances. That's why I believe in Bank CMG. They're a community bank built on the same values, helping people prepare for the future, building wealth one smart decision at a time, and staying rooted right here in Wisconsin. Success doesn't happen by accident. It takes a game plan, it takes discipline, and it takes a partner who understands your goals. Whether you're saving for your family, buying a home, or planning for retirement, Bank CMG has your back. They're not just here to handle your money, they're here to help you grow it. Visit bankcmg.com or stop by your local branch. Let's get to work.
Bank CMG is an equal housing lender. Member FDIC.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting ESPNWisconsinContests.com.
That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com.
March into big savings at Exterior Pros and Baths. Refresh your home this season with energy-efficient windows, durable roofing, beautiful new siding, or a stunning bath remodel and get $3,000 off your project. That's $3,000 in instant savings during their March savings event. But this offer won't last long. Call 262-800-4274 or visit extpros.com today. Exterior Pros and Baths. Big savings done right.
Screaming Sicilian, more is amore. Screaming Sicilian, more is amore. Amore, maroni, amore, mozzarella, amore. Screaming Sicilian, screaming Sicilian.
Screaming Sicilian frozen pizza. More toppings, more flavor. More is amore.
Spring is here, and living with your old, drafty, foggy, dirty, hard-to-open, bad windows is no longer an option. You deserve better windows and doors. At Siding Unlimited, we install top-of-the-line wood, vinyl, and fiberglass windows with options to fit your style, color, and design choices. Built for energy efficiency, installed by our professional craftsmen at Siding Unlimited. Siding Unlimited. Experience, integrity, craftsmanship. Visit sidingunlimited.com today.
Come grow with us at Glenroy. For more than 6 decades, our family-owned company has built its reputation on quality, reliability, and providing strong career opportunities in our community. As the packaging industry rapidly grows, so does Glenroy. Here, you'll find competitive wages, a clean, modern workspace, fully vested 401k, yearly bonus award, and the chance to build a manufacturing career with purpose. Apply today at glenroy.com/careers. That's GLENROY.com/careers.
Station updates, show clips, and your place to interact with us every single day just by scrolling through your feed. Follow along on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at ESPN Milwaukee. You're listening to Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
So I got a little feedback from John on social media yesterday. He was displeased with the amount of Brewers talk there wasn't.
Not enough Brewers talk. You're wearing a Brewers hat. What else does he want?
Following their first win of the season on Friday when we had Joe Thomas, which when we have Joe Thomas, we talk a lot of football because
Joe
Joe
Thomas.
Thomas.
Beef. Talk a lot of beef.
A lot of meat.
Famer.
Yeah.
There's some beef talk.
He bring
too.
any beef?
Of course he did.
What did he bring?
Might still be some here if you're lucky.
Got some. Did he bring any Wagyu?
There were some sticks. There was some jerky.
How about some Wagyu, though? He bring any steaks?
I didn't see any steaks.
Come on, Joe.
No.
Can we get some Wagyu? All right.
He did say there were grooves in your chair that he was sitting in.
Sit in a different chair. What does that mean, there were grooves? Like it was a little warmer, maybe a little more indented than he was hoping for?
I believe it is form-fitting to the
I'm not in the studio that often, so just think if he was at my undisclosed location, what that would be like.
So were you paying attention at all while you were in California?
I didn't pay attention to a lot of stuff, but what I did, we got home about 5:30 last night, and the Duke game was going on, and it brought me to two questions how that finished, because then we went right there. Eleanor had a softball practice that was we went right to from there. So I missed it, but then as I was feeding the machine, I looked and I thought, what the heck? Because UConn was down, and then they won. Are the Green Bay Packers more like the Duke Blue Devils than we thought? We're a blue blood. I think we're more beloved, but I'm kind of torn on this. They've had some painstaking, tough losses. They've won their share of championships.
But not since 2015.
We haven't won since 2010, 11-ish. Are we? If we're a college football program, we used to always do this in hockey in the old days. We'd sit around and there'd be guys. We'd stick around. And it was more of a social thing, but we would rank our social skills. Who's drinking Coors Lights? Who's staying up? Who's jabbering? And we'd go college football programs. And at that point, I was a night owl, and I could stay up all night. And I looked at myself as like a Georgia, Alabama. We had a couple other guys that would stay with us, and we'd timestamp how late we'd stay. We were idiots. It was dumb, but it was fun. And so that just got me to start thinking, are we Duke? The Green Bay Packers are who of this year's final, not even the Final Four, of this year's college basketball realm? Who are we?
Well, it would appear that
UConn
Florida
would be, I think UConn, through the last, whatever amount of years, got to be Kansas City.
They're the Chiefs, yeah.
Okay. So then we start thinking about who else has been. Michigan this year. Michigan's been pretty good. A little up and down. Seattle had some down years. They're back, and they're in the position to win. Who's Arizona? I don't know.
Arizona
I think the Green
might be
Bay
the
Packers, as we sit here today, and it pains me to say it because my other angle I was looking at when I was thinking about the show today was there are not many programs I dislike more than Duke.
Ooh, you almost said it.
But I did. I did. No, I'm not. I don't.
Just
you
say
can
it.
say it. I don't want to. I'm going to say dislike.
Yeah,
So
hate.
I don't like Duke. We all know why. There's a lot of things I don't like about Duke. But you got to respect them. They win. Ohio State would be the team collegiately that I would dislike the most. And then professionally, now the Bears are back. So if I'm looking at this thing from a holistic, as a Wisconsin sports fan, who do I want to see get duped? It'd be the Bears now. I want to see them get their hearts ripped out like they did the next week after they beat us, because you just see and feel all their fandom, and it's annoying. They've become annoying again, which I didn't know that they were going
to them.
Everybody was, they're not a rival, they're not this. They have found their way back into the, boy, I don't like, and they are annoying to me. And that is a kudos. That's a kudos to Ben Johnson and the Bears organization, because they were nowhere in our sphere of thinking about it.
And now people hate him.
But I'm looking at this, and the way Duke has lost the last couple of times and they've been right in the mix. Now, you could say, well, Green Bay hasn't even been in the mix, and I can't argue with you. Been a 7th seed knocked out. But I think we would fit that bill. Tell me why I'm wrong.
You're not wrong. So a couple things. One, remember when Rodgers did the I own you, I still own you, and Bears fans, by and large, not all of them, because no fan base is unanimous, but a lot of them were like, yeah, he does. We don't really have much pushback. Those were the days, weren't they?
That was fun.
I miss those days.
That was a fun time.
Now they're more than a little bit obnoxious. They infiltrate the YouTube comments just to stir it up, which is fine. Again, we appreciate you watching.
Yeah, we like that.
Thanks for tuning in.
Absolutely.
I will say this, and then, Jesse, we'll get to your nameless text message. So we went out to dinner last night. The girls had friends over, so we took everybody out to dinner, and we were at a restaurant that serves ice cream, but I won't say it, and because it's not rustique, and had TVs on. And when we walked into the restaurant, Duke was up 19, 17, something like that. And as you know, I am not an ultra-reactionary fan guy. But when the kid from Indiana, he's a freshman, right, Jesse?
Yeah, he was Mr. Basketball in Indiana last year.
Yeah.
Who was this kid that made the...
He's their Knipple.
Yeah.
Knocks down the game winner. I let out an audible, oh, and I raised my hands at the table.
Why?
That's how I feel about Duke.
You're a fan now?
No, just I hate Duke.
Okay. All right.
And I'm not afraid to use that H word when it comes to that. I'm curious, and this is really the question that I now have. As much as I like your comparison college basketball team vis-a-vis Packers, I want to know who are the teams that people hate. Like our fans, who do they hate the most? It's got to be the Bears.
I think they fit where I just went. I think it's Bears and Ohio State are our top two if you're looking at it.
And the Cubs.
Cubs are ahead of both.
You think Cubs are top?
Yeah.
I think now that the Bears are good, I think the Bears are ahead of the Cubs, but I think the Cubs are number 2.
Some might say pull it.
It feels as if Ohio State, maybe, again, man, I know this is a Packer-dominated show, so it's going to be Bears. I think Cubs, Ohio State will be a battle.
Not baseball enough. I think, so Ohio State is
what a testament to the Bears. Let's just look at this from when our show started. 2016. We are going on 10 years. And this is the first time in 10 years I'd ever have made that statement.
It's true.
And for the rivalry and the NFL in 2018 for the 100-year, whatever year that was, to put that game as a marquee game, because understanding that is the oldest, most storied rivalry. And they hadn't even been a thought for us. We haven't had enough passion to even hate them. It was an indifference, which there's nothing worse in sports talk, in sports, in life, than indifference. We had an indifference to them. It was, they're a plucky little bunch. Oh, if we want, maybe we'll throw them 1 or 2. And now, after what happened in the playoffs, it is as hot as it's been. So kudos to them for elevating to get back where they're at, where we can even have this discussion.
You can chime in via the Carbless Talkin' text line, 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. Matt LaFleur will be sitting down at the NFC Coaches Breakfast in about 14 minutes at
Who do
the
we
Arizona
send
Biltmore.
down there? We got Domofsky down there?
Wes Hodkowitz is there for the Packers team website. Matt Schneidman from The Athletic, Domofsky from ESPN. I think there's another couple people there. I don't know who necessarily.
I don't know who you're tight with and who you'd send. What would be the one question if you got teleported down there that you'd want to talk to Matt LaFleur about?
Well, it's very hard to choose, and I will try and narrow down my answers after I tell you about Gruber Law Offices. We may hate the Cubs. We may hate Ohio State. May hate the Bears. But you got to love David Gruber and Gruber Law Offices, especially when they win your case and make sure you're taken care of if you've been injured in an accident. You know the number. One call, that's all. 414-276-6666, 414-276-6666, or go to the website gruber-law.com to find out more. What questions do I have for Matt LaFleur? I'm sure those guys will ask them, but the number one question will be this. I'll tell you next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Make your next meal Quick Trip's No Ordinary Chicken. Right now, get a crispy chicken sandwich, regular or pepper jacked, for just $3.99. Feeding the crew? Grab an 8-piece bone-in fried chicken for only $9.99. And don't forget to dip it in Quick Trip's No Ordinary Chicken sauce. Short on time? Order ahead with the Quick Rewards app and make it fast. Stop in today for your No Ordinary Chicken. Crunch outside, tender inside. Only at Quick Trip.
$2.3 million. A recent Schwab survey of Americans says that it takes $2.3 million to be wealthy. Well, you may have had your financial plan set on a bigger or a more humble number. But if you're looking for added insights on how to get there or how to avoid some tax pitfalls on the way, Annex Wealth Management is ready to listen. Mark Tauscher here, and whether your situation is complex or simple, the Annex Wealth Management team can give you wealth expertise and guidance on reaching your goals. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference.
It's time for the Milwaukee Baseball Report on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by National Liquor Mart. Packed with the best beer, liquor, seltzer, and spirits deals in town. Located at 16th and National in Milwaukee. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily, where your satisfaction is their plan of action.
After taking the first two games, the Brewers were going for the opening weekend series sweep on Sunday against the White Sox. Trailing by 1 run in the bottom of the 8th inning with 2 runners on, Christian Yelich did this.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. Yelich, a high drive, deep right, down the line, fair, and gone!
The Crew would go on to win 9-7 behind the 3-run go-ahead home run from Christian Yelich, completing the series sweep. Up next, the Tampa Bay Rays come to town for a 3-game set at American Family Field. I'm Will Summers.
This has been the Milwaukee Baseball Report on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by National Liquor Mart.
She walked miles with her granddaughters every day at Disney with zero knee pain, but she couldn't have done that months ago. This all started with a visit to QC Kinetics.
We have spent the last 4 days going from park to park, walking all day long, no pain. I feel fantastic.
Here's what baffles people when they hear Kathy's story.
The doctor said, you need 2 full knee replacements. And I said, that's not going to happen. I went to QC Kinetics, started treatment that day. Within a couple of weeks, I was absolutely pain-free.
It's the kind of story that QC Kinetics hears from patients all the time.
I cannot thank QC Kinetics enough for giving me my life back. I'm active again and loving it. I'm well over a year out. I've had absolutely no pain in either knee.
Before you agree to surgery, listen to this. Think about it.
Tomorrow is Animal Kingdom, so yeah, gotta go.
Kathy's glad she took them up on the free consultation. We have one set aside for you.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-240-2298. That's 414-240-2298. 414-240-2298.
Hi, this is John Neal, CPA and founder of the Neal Group and best-selling author on how to have less stress with the IRS. If 2025 didn't go exactly as planned, you're not alone. You made it through, and that's what counts. Now it's time for taxes, and for a lot of people, that's when the stress kicks in, especially if things got messy along the way. The good news, a rough year doesn't mean a ruined future. We helped Nate fix a tax mess with the IRS caused by one of those national firms and saved him $103,000 in penalties, plus another $152,000 in taxes because we know the tax law. Imagine walking into tax season with a clear plan and someone in your corner who knows the tax law and knows how to use it. You earned it, we help you keep it. Call us now at 414-325-2040 to arrange a meeting to see how we can help you. Don't wait, call now. That's 414-325-2040 or visit nealgroup.net.
This is Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Jesse has placed the poll in the field. We'll check out the early returns in a bit. But Matt LaFleur will be at a table at the Arizona Biltmore in a little bit. And Tausch asked me what my first question would be to him. And I would have a lot, especially considering the fact that he has not spoken with us since the day after the season ended. He talked a little bit about his brother when he went out to Arizona for Mike LaFleur's introductory press conference, but I believe that has been his only media interaction since the day after the season ended, which means he hasn't spoken about his contract extension that he received. If you remember, the day after the season, he was deflecting a myriad of questions about his future. So my question would be this. You know, Matt, I know from experience with players that a lot of times when they get an extension, some of them become complacent. Others feel a pressure to justify the extension that they received. I'm wondering how you view your extension and what you need to do better to get this team to where it wants to be now that you've gotten the opportunity to remain as the head coach.
Okay. I was hoping for something more of, that's great that's where your head's at on it. That seems so long ago.
Yeah, but he hasn't talked about it. I don't think him not talking to us should give him the opportunity to not talk about his extension.
But he's going to talk about it, but what do you think he's going to say? He's going to be, I'm excited that I get an opportunity. Obviously disappointed.
Do you want me to phrase it as, did you really deserve this extension, you think?
That would be more interesting. He's going to give you the canned answers of he wants to improve, and he's excited that he gets to continue on this. He's disappointed with how the season ended, and we're going to do everything in our power to not have it. I don't know if that's...
I'd like to hear him say, what we've done isn't good enough. And I think there's a chance he would say that.
He probably would say that. But we know that. We know he knows that. So I guess was he surprised that there was the amount of folks that thought he should get fired? That's interesting.
Speaking of canned answers, I don't really pay attention to that kind of stuff.
Okay, so neither of our questions are any good.
I don't know. The thing that I'm most interested in is not that. The thing I'm most interested in is what exactly do you have planned with Jonathan Gannon, and why did you hire him, given the success you had with your previous defensive coordinator, whose base was a 4-3? And how do you feel about the personnel, and what does this mean for Lucas Van Ness, and all those questions? Because to me, the more timely thing is about the defense. But at the same time, the guy hasn't talked since he got his extension.
Yeah. No, I know. And it's 3 months, right? It's, I think, going on, January, February, March. Yeah, he's going on 3 months. And this league moves fast. The Jonathan Gannon, I'm much more interested. Like, my first question would have been, what happened with Rich Bisaccia? How did
I'm
this
sure
play
that
itself
will
out?
be discussed.
That, to me, is because you're not going to be able to lie and say he wanted to retire, he wanted a new challenge. It could be it's a family deal. I don't know what changed in that regard, but there are a lot of things that I think we're intrigued and interested in with what this team is going to look like and where they're going. I think the contract extension, man, it just seems so long ago. Like, that was middle of January that happened. And I don't know what he is going to say other than what we've done, we're going to build off of, and we're going to go win. And that how we're going to go about doing that, we have a new defensive coordinator. I'm sure those guys will ask a ton of questions. I don't know what will be the headline from this 15 or 20-minute breakfast.
If he says something interesting about Rich Bisaccia's departure, that will be a significant headline. But again, I would predict, and look, let me be clear. It is our job, I mean, not mine today because I'm not there, but in general, it is our job to ask these questions even if we don't expect to get anything more than a canned answer. And it's our job to find creative ways to ask the questions to hopefully not get a canned answer. But, when Goody was asked about it at the scouting combine, we were very surprised by Rich's decision. I know he doesn't plan on retiring. I would expect some sort of variation on, he wanted to get back to his roots, I guess, as a college coach. And because is he going to say, yeah, I got to be honest, Rich and I didn't see eye to eye on a lot of things. And while I valued his opinion, I think he felt like I didn't listen to him enough, so he decided he wanted to do something else. Or I wanted to make significant changes to how we played on special teams, and he said, go F yourself, I'm done. I would love to know. I do want to know, but I am dubious on the idea of Matt LaFleur giving us a straight answer if there was some sort of acrimonious departure. If the truth is, you know what, I'm kind of bored, I'm worn out, I don't like this anymore, I want to get back to college, great. I don't see a whole lot of coaches going that direction. They're leaving head coaching jobs in college to become like running backs coaches in the NFL. So I don't know, and I have not talked to Rich. I will say this, I feel like Rich being asked that question. So I don't know if I need to go to Clemson's pro day when they open fall practice camp. But I feel like Rich would give the true answer. But I don't know what Matt LaFleur is going to say and I know he will be asked that today.
Yeah, there's no doubt he'll get that. I don't know what the other big storylines are. This has been a very quiet, nondescript offseason so far. Like, everything has kind of went chalk. There hadn't been any March Madness moves. They've
added two guys that have had their 30th birthday. That's Wisconsin losing to High Point.
Maybe. Those guys are going to be role players. I don't think those are moves that you're thinking are going to shake the world up with this team. Maybe I'm wrong, but it just feels like this has been super chalky. Yeah, there's been, okay, I'll give you a 5-12, but there were no Duke-UConn moments so far. I mean, Bisaccia leaving, to me, is the biggest.
I would agree. Iowa. That's Iowa.
Yeah.
Well, we will see what Matt LaFleur has to say in Arizona. I know in recent years that session has been shorter than it was previously. I'm hoping that now that I see that they're back at tables, that this will be a longer session and all those guys that are out there will get all the answers that we're looking for, or at least ask the questions that we're hoping get asked. We'll see what Matt LaFleur has to say. I'm sure folks will be tweeting some of his responses out on social media. Jesse, you look like you have something to add.
This is the one that we always complain every year because there's never good sound from it, right? And he always says something interesting.
Is this where they take the coaches' pictures and we all diagnose? Yeah, it's fun. This is a fun meeting.
Was it in Miami a year or two ago where Mark Murphy was talking? Like, we couldn't even hear what he was saying because there's like airplane noise coming from the background and air conditioning. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say this. I know I don't leave my basement very often. They alternate these between West Coast and basically Florida. I think next year I probably, since we'll be an hour ahead, which means if they have the coach's breakfast at 7:45, it'll be 6:45 Wisconsin time. That would mean that theoretically I could attend the breakfast and then do the show right away after. And we would have all that sound. So maybe I actually have to venture out of Brown County and go to this next year.
I'll take Prize Picks. I'll take the less.
You going Belgian waffle if you go to breakfast with LaFleur?
I did cover 15 of these before I stopped.
I played 11 years in the NFL, but that was 15 years ago.
It's great to have you back. Are you going to be this way for the entire show? Just so I know, because I've got another 2 hours and 13 minutes to go.
What am I being?
Disagreeable.
I have not disagreed with you one time. What are you talking about?
Well, we both agree when it comes to UW Credit Union.
Indeed, we do. UW Credit Union is here for every stage of life. You're ornery, you're happy, you're sad, you're joyful. And it is here forever. You proudly serving Wisconsin for over 90 years. They're going to help you reach your financial goals. UW Credit Union is your location for home loans. With UW Credit Union's local experts, a great loan at a great rate is never far from home. Join today at uwcu.org. Insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions do apply.
Let's play some trivia. Presented by Cousins Subs and Iron Jock. The Sports Weekend Recap is the category. We will take caller 10 for trivia. Caller 10, 844-770-3776. 844-770-3776. Trivia's next. It's Wilde Tausch.
This is Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. And sponsored by American Family Insurance. Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on March 31st.
Churio sends it deep to left, and there she goes!
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Tampa Bay Rays.
And Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness. Third deck.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Delta Dental of Wisconsin. Tune in March 31st at 6:40 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee or check your local listings to watch the game.
And ESPN Radio Extra Point with Michelle Smallman.
I understand it's the first game of the season. In the grand scheme of things, you could say it doesn't matter. He's obviously consistent. He's obviously an excellent baseball player. But I think it is a problem because it's symptomatic of the bigger issue with him. The issue with him is not what you're going to do in the regular season. The issue with Aaron Judge is what's going to happen when the lights are the brightest and the stage is the biggest and the moment is the most pressurized. What is going to happen for you when you need to come up in the clutch in the postseason? And when you have, albeit opening day, not as high pressure as some of these other situations we're talking about, but off the heels of the World Baseball Classic, where it was the biggest stage, the biggest moment on the biggest stage you could possibly have internationally, he came up short. So if I'm a Yankee fan, 7-0, we won. Great game. I'm concerned that Aaron Judge went hitless, even though he'll find his rhythm and probably have an awesome season.
Talk about stepping up.
It's time to level up your game. Introducing the all-new ESPN app. All of ESPN, all in one place. Your home for the most live sports and the best championship moments.
The electricity is palpable.
Step up your game with no annual contract required. It's the ultimate fan experience. Level up for more on the ESPN app or at stream.espn.com. Sign up now.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
You can search for the biggest bat selection, but I'm here to save you time because the best baseball and softball bat selection in the Midwest is right here at Burkhardt Sporting Goods. We stock just about every bat on the market from all the top manufacturers like Easton, DeMarini, Louisville Slugger, Marucci, and more, and sell them all at the guaranteed lowest prices. So get in here and try a few out in our indoor batting cages. There's no need to look any further because when it comes to bats, if you want it, we got it at Burkhardt Sporting Goods.
You can't beat Burkhardt.
When you run a team, you want great uniforms, and you know selling spirit wear is vital. That's why Burkhardt Sporting Goods will create a free custom website for you to sell your families and players the coolest spirit wear from Nike and Under Armour, as well as the basics, while helping you fundraise at the same time. We take the hassle out of coordinating your team's apparel and make shopping and buying easy. So when you need awesome spirit wear and uniforms for your organization, you can't beat Burkhardt.
You can't beat Burkhardt.
It doesn't get any headlines just to be silently good. Big Fish Contracting, we say renovating homes, redeeming an industry.
It's so much more than just, okay, we're replacing your roof.
We're not only educating homeowners, but we're getting to know them and allowing them an opportunity to get to know us. I mean, there's just such beauty in it, you know? If anyone is considering reaching out to us,
or you can check us out on our website, bigfishcontracting.com.
You're listening to Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Before we get to trivia, it does appear that the first question to Matt LaFleur, based on the tweets I'm seeing, was about his contract extension. And as Tausch predicted, his answer, I'm ecstatic to obviously be back with the Packers. This is a one-of-one organization. Love the organization, the people. Wes Hodkowitz writes that he said the negotiations were easy, and there was a good line of communication with that policy.
Well, there you go.
Just exactly what we were expecting. Let's play some trivia presented by Cousin Subs and Iron Jock.
Wilde Tausch Trivia is brought to you by Iron Jock, performance apparel that actually performs. No stink, just performance, and proudly Wisconsin built. Shop now at ironjock.com. And by Cousin Subs. It's lobster season at Cousin Subs. Their lobster salad sub is fresh, flavorful, and only here for a limited time. Try it today.
Let's welcome in today's contestant. It is Lee in Cottage Grove. Lee, good morning. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm well. Thank you.
The category is the Sports Weekend Recap. Question number one is this. Which Milwaukee Brewers player hit a go-ahead 3-run home run in the 8th inning on Sunday to help propel the Brewers to a sweep of the Chicago White Sox? Was it Christian Yelich, Sal Frelick, or Sixto Lezcano III?
Christian Yelich.
A pretty darn good call from Jeff Levering on the TV broadcast as well. All right, Lee, question two is this. Which of these statements is true about the Milwaukee Bucks playoff aspirations entering play today? Is it the Bucks can still finish top 7 and avoid the play-in tournament? Is it the Bucks can only hope to finish between 7th and 10th and reach the play-in tournament? Or the Bucks have been eliminated from playoff contention?
The Bucks have been eliminated.
That occurred, Jesse, when did that occur? Against the Spurs,
Saturday
right? What was that, Saturday?
Against the Spurs.
Who would the Bucks be? in the NCAA tournament. They would have been, what team didn't make it and was a complete disappointment?
They got one, but have...
Maryland? I think they might be Maryland.
Auburn?
I don't even know if, are we a bubble team? Like, I feel like we're not even really bubbly. Lee, who are the Bucks? Which team? That's question.
Oh my gosh.
That's question 3.
You might not have even
It's a
made the
fill in the
tournament.
blank.
Are they Oregon State women who lost to the Badgers women on their march to the semifinals
NIT, whatever
of the
that's called.
WBIT?
Is there still a WNIT, or is that gone?
There is a WNIT, but it's like the mid-major schools are in the NIT compared to the other schools in the WBIT. How about Virginia for Wisconsin or for the Milwaukee Bucks?
Virginia was in the tournament.
Yeah, the Bucks have been
Like
in
won
the
the
tournament.
ACC or finished in the top.
We just got this right. The Bucks have been eliminated.
If
from
we're
playoff
looking at the
contention.
last decade, Virginia won a championship.
Fair
had
enough.
some early exits when they
I
shouldn't.
was only my bad for not being more specific. And Lee, sorry for boring you with this, but this season, there's just one season. My bad.
Well,
This
then
is on me. It's on me.
They're USC because their best player disappeared at the end of the season and isn't going to be on the team anymore, most likely.
And is 42 years old.
All right. Lee, question 3.
Yeah. Okay.
Only one school lost games in both the NCAA men's and women's basketball tournaments on the same day this weekend. Which team was it? Was it Alabama, Duke, or Tennessee?
Well, I'm not sure. I really don't pay that much attention to the women's. We'll say Duke.
It's never a bad thing when Duke loses, and it's even better when both their teams lose. Indeed, Duke. Dunzo in both tournaments. Lee, what a great start to our week. A perfect 3 for 3. That means you've got 4 entries into Friday's drawing. Thanks for playing, buddy. We appreciate you.
Nice. Well, I'm glad I didn't ruin the perfect week. So, yeah, thank you.
We did make you wait for question 3 for a while, but it was worth it. Speaking of things that are worth it, well, maybe this answer's not really worth it either. Matt LaFleur doesn't have a very clear answer when it comes to Rich Bisaccia's departure. We'll tell you what he told the group in Arizona to kick off the 10 o'clock hour, which will happen in 2 minutes. So stick around. It's Wilde Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Mark Tauscher.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
Why DIY your frozen pizza toppings when Screamin' Sicilian already went over the top for you? We're talking whole milk mozzarella, heaps of premium meats, a mountain of veggies. Screamin' Sicilian is frozen pizza stacked, no add-ons needed. Mamma mia! Screamin' Sicilian, so loaded with toppings, it's almost cheating. Find Screamin' Sicilian in your local grocer's freezer section and taste what all the screamin' is about.
We see you out there coming up with original ideas, which is why you shop at Blaine's Farm and Fleet, because you know when inspiration rises, we'll have what you need to make it happen at prices that make it possible. Get a head start on spring savings with doorbuster pricing on Scott's Turf Builder Triple Action, $10 off. Rewards members save an extra $10. Plus, new at Blaine's, shop Ego battery-powered mowers and outdoor power equipment. Find the value you need to do things your way. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Being original.
Hi, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Most contractors cut corners and disappear when there's a problem. Not us. Since 1997, we've completed over 60,000 projects, earned thousands of 5-star reviews, and were named 2025 Roofing Magazine Contractor of the Year. We set the standard for exterior remodeling. Trusted by homeowners, proven every single day. We're excited to show you why choosing Infinity means peace of mind. Visit infinityexteriors.com to see why your neighbors trust Infinity.
Hey, this is Homer. You're listening to the home of Marquette basketball. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde Tausch begins now. And it begins with a question that I have for Jesse. Jesse, if Tausch quit the show tomorrow, what would your first question be?
Should I quit also?
Okay, that would not be
my
first
guy.
question.
Appreciate you.
Ride or die, Ole T.
That's what I'm talking about.
What would your second question be?
Who's taking over for him?
Okay. My first question would be why.
Oh. I'd have a good idea why.
Kind of walked into that one.
Matt LaFleur says after Rich Bisaccia stepped down, according to Matt Schneidman of The Athletic, Bisaccia gave him a list of names for the next special teams coordinator, and Cam Acord was on that list. LaFleur hasn't had a direct conversation with Bisaccia about why he left, but assumed he wanted to be closer to family.
Oh, assuming. You know what that is. Just wait a second. As you're reading this, did you just say Bisaccia gave him a list? Or who gave him a list?
Rich Bisaccia gave Matt LaFleur a list of names for next special teams coordinator.
After he left?
And Cam Acord was on that list.
Just wait a second. So he leaves, nobody knows what the hell's going on, and he gives him a list?
Well, I assume he gave it to him when he turned in his resignation or informed him he was stepping down.
That's not how this works.
It's what it says.
All right, continue.
Would you give us a list of names to take over for you if you quit the show tomorrow?
I have a couple that'd be really good. Or not.
What are we supposed to make of that? I
what
guess
else was there more? I didn't want to interrupt you, but it's so.
That's the end of the tweet. Now, obviously, we're not there.
I mean, so Matt LaFleur doesn't know. He didn't have a conversation with.
Right. This is what I'm asking. Like, he comes in and says, "Hey, I'm out. Hasta la vista, baby." Your first question isn't why?
Well, he didn't get to talk to him. It doesn't sound like. Did he talk to him, or did he just?
Well, he obviously talked to him long enough for him to give him a list of replacements.
Well, unless you slipped it under the door.
Yeah, it could be like
a door slip.
Like a mystery thing. Like, you know those movies where, like, someone dies, but in the will there's, like, a series of clues to a treasure?
Because he was
like
in Florida.
Was this Clue?
Yeah.
He got back from Florida, and that's when he quit. So they did have a conversation, or they didn't. See, I'm telling you, when we were going over this LaFleur thing, this was the most interesting to me. Because I had a hunch when Goody said what he said, it's like, boy, you feel like and Rich is going to say what Rich is going to say. He disagrees with the coach on whether the kicker is ready to kick. Rich is he's that old grandpa that's going to say whatever the hell's on his mind. He isn't interested in all the right PR and anything else. So these guys have to understand he's not some young coach that needs all of this. He is an old warhorse that's been through it and doesn't give two rips. He's going to say what he wants to say. And this whole thing is just weird. And giving a list of replacements as you leave guys in the lurch 3 weeks after hiring season?
38 days.
Weird. Odd.
So, again, I don't... How do you not ask, why are you doing this? How do you not require an answer to that? Because, again, it's not like he turned in his resignation the day after the season ended. 38 days after the season ended, he said, "I'm out." And I don't know how it works when you quit a job, but I'm not saying he had to give 2 weeks notice like in the real world, but I would think that the person that you're quitting or resigning from working for would want to know why. So do we believe that they didn't have a direct conversation about why?
Unless you don't care. Unless LaFleur doesn't care that he left. Like, you wouldn't. The only reason in any line of employment, if you wouldn't ask somebody why they're quitting, is because you won't miss them if they leave. Someone walks in from, Usher George walks into the American Family Field office and says, "Hey, I'm on out." If he was bad and they just say, "Okay, see ya," they don't care why.
Yeah. This is a really odd story, and it just got odder. To give a list and to not... So LaFleur has no idea. He's assuming that it's closer to being closer with family. And by the way, Rich Bisaccia needed to go. I don't know why LaFleur could have really just done this and said, "We're going to keep you on as the culture coordinator." Obviously, Rich wouldn't have done that. And who knows, maybe that's part of it, and maybe LaFleur isn't saying everything he knows. Because, hey, it's over. Rich is gone. Story's going to die. This will probably be, until you get your claws on him, probably going to be the last time this is brought up to Matt LaFleur until there's some specialty, until you actually, if you do, get a chance to talk to Cam Acord or whoever else was on that list that Rich Bisaccia.
Right, I want to know who else was on the list.
Yeah. I don't know.
Again, to your point, I also wondered if Matt LaFleur was happy, to Jesse's point actually, that he was stepping down and wanted to do something different and find someone else.
So LaFleur he wanted to fire him, didn't want to hurt his feelings, because we all know Matt has a hard time firing people.
So it's like the guy who wants to break up with his girlfriend but doesn't want to break up with her, so he just is a jerk until she breaks up with him?
You'd have to ask Matt. I don't know.
Well, he hasn't had a direct conversation as to why I just assumed he wanted to be closer to family. And family is always the catch-all for reasons for people departing, right?
For a group that probably spends less time with their families than almost any other profession, I understand why they use that, but it's usually bunk. Because usually the next opportunity they get, you don't spend more time with your family as you continue to climb the ranks of coaching. You end up spending a lot less.
He is also, to this point, at the NFC Coaches Breakfast, discussed the 3-4 base front, saying he doesn't expect much difference because the Packers ran a lot of 3-4 concepts last year under Hafley. And this might pique your interest, is discussing their inability to finish. Would that have been high up on your list of things you would have wanted answered?
You heard Goody say that, and I think I said that right after the season ended. Like, you're going to hear, we need to finish. It's they're going to do finishers in the weight room. I'm guessing, it didn't work for Wisconsin, but when we lost to Iowa by like 35 points down there a couple of years ago, it's like, we're going to do 35 push-ups after everything to make sure this doesn't happen again. Well, then Iowa came in here and beat us by 20-something. I don't think we're going to be doing that again. But when you hear Goody say stuff, that obviously that message is going to continue to matriculate down. But the reason this team didn't get where they wanted last year is they were unable to finish and close out games. Whether it's the regular season game or the postseason game against the Bears, the Browns, you take a look at the Cowboys game, all of those games were there for the taking. You're not going to win all of them. But again, I will say the biggest catalyst for that was special teams and the inability to run the football. Those are the two things, if I'm asking Goody or LaFleur about, how are you going to improve those? Because that is going to be the difference between being a team that can finish and one that can't, and obviously get Micah back as the Sandman to close up shop.
He said that's been at the forefront of his mind this offseason. So that has been something he's been focused on. But again, I don't see a lot of specifics as to why. When a coach says that, and you don't feel like your team is good at finishing, how do you train that? You said the 35 push-ups. You can talk about it.
I think there's a lot. You start finishing practices, and they do this anyways with 2-minute drills. Though you try and put your team in positions where they need it's do or die. But there is the way you start finishing games is by being able to finish with the ball in your hands. You control. You don't put it in an opposing team to onside kick, or you don't put it in the opposing offense. And that's how you do that, is by being able to run the football and getting hard, tough yards. It's the hardest thing in football to do. But the 4-minute drill, you're going to hear a lot, I would think, a lot about that. Finishing that, being able to close up shop, because that was the big Achilles heel off of last year. Jesse, put that tweet or text back up with Matt. That's as good as it gets here when it comes to the Rich Bisaccia situation.
This one from Matt in West Bend. I got dumped by a girl once, and she gave me a list of other ladies.
Now that's good. That's good stuff from Matt in West Bend.
I don't know when we'll speak to Cam Acord. I'd be curious what his connection is to Rich Bisaccia.
He's a list guy.
That he would have been on
he's
the
a lister.
recommendation list. But, yeah, that's...
Why didn't somebody call up and interview the dude that went to the Browns? Was he on the list? And if he's not, why the hell was he his top assistant for all
Well,
this?
he'd already gotten the job.
Yeah, but he would have known. Rich would have told him. That's why this whole thing is so goofy.
Byron Storer is the new special teams coordinator for the Cleveland Browns. EZ in Florida. Sounds like Bisaccia was waiting to get fired and then fired himself.
I always do wonder if there's a point where because Rich, we could tell you that he doesn't listen and read and hear all the stuff, but he knew he was under fire. And I'm sure there was a point where he was like, the hell am I under fire about? You guys don't give me a punt returner. And then they want to change things. I've been doing things a certain way for a lot of years, and it's worked. That hadn't worked in Green Bay. So I'm sure there's a part of Rich that was looking at this and saying, blank these guys. If LaFleur is sitting there, we got to do this different. Blah, 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 blah. I'm sure, even though there's a ton of respect, I'm guessing Rich probably did get fed up with some of it. Nobody wants to sit and get criticized all the time.
I don't know where Hingham is, but Chris and Hingham, maybe it took Rich 37 days to compile his list of suggested replacements.
Very possible. Who knows?
So if you were to guess, and this is only an educated guess, what do you think the real reason is?
I think he got fed up with probably a lack of not having a punt returner. I think he was sick of that. And I do think there was probably some things slid under his door via a note of things we need to improve and get better and maybe do differently than what he wants. So do I think that he probably did want to live in the South and maybe get closer to family? I'm sure there's a part of that. But football coaches, it's about winning and feeling respected and feeling like you're making a difference. And when you don't feel all of that, you start looking around. You start dabbling. And when you start dabbling and dabble, Sweeney calls you. It's kind of, you feel loved again. You feel like you're wanted again. And Dabo dabbled and Dabo got what he wanted. And Rich is getting what he's wanting. So I'm sure he's going to feel like that. So that would be the biggest guess that I had. But it doesn't sound like we're going to find out until someone heads over to, I don't remember where exactly Clemson, what city that's in. Is it Spartanburg? Is that Spartanburg, South Carolina?
I thought the city was Clemson.
Is it Clemson?
I believe it is. Clemson, South Carolina.
What's Spartanburg? There's a team.
I think that's where the University of South Carolina is.
Is it Spartanburg? I thought that was Columbia. Yeah,
maybe you're right.
Well, whatever. I always remember, because when Clemson was really good, I thought they were doing shots from Spartanburg. But whatever it might be, Clemson is where you're going to have to go to get those answers. Because Rich will tell you, but you got to go get them. And I don't know if anybody's going to want to do that.
Wofford is in Spartanburg, apparently.
What the heck, Wofford? Why that was on my head? Maybe there's an
Terriers.
upset. Is that what it is?
Wofford.
Maybe I was a big fan of the women's NIT, and I think Wofford always had a good squad. in that.
Sure.
You are correct. The University of South Carolina is in Columbia, South Carolina. South Carolina Upstate, which I'm not familiar with their academic track record, is also located in Spartanburg. Per Rob Domofsky on this finishing thing, that's been on the forefront of my mind. It starts with a mentality, but it's got to be in everything we do. There's going to be a start and a finish to every drill. Isn't there a start and a finish to every drill already?
That's the old you get what you emphasize. And I like it. I mean, there was, we had a year where we weren't good on short yardage, and we would, every 9-on-7, we would always finish. We'd run 96 power. We would run something to just continue to pound in because there is something. It's about what you spend your time on and emphasize. You better get it out of it. And that, obviously, when you have the gut punch that the Green Bay Packers had to finish their season, you're going to focus and put a ton of energy and time into that. But you have to be very careful that you're not robbing Paul to pay Peter, because there's going to be other things that you're not focusing on, and then that can also get your blank beat. I'm telling you right now, and I'd be shocked if they haven't kind of addressed it in this way. The biggest way to finish games is by keeping the ball in your hands and finishing 4-minute. I would guess you'll see a lot more 4-minute. And I would hope you see more padded practices in training camp. I think that is a part of the process. Whether or not they're going to do that, because I'm certain health is obviously always at the top of mind. And when somebody sent something over to me, I don't know if it was last week when I was gone, but I thought it was really interesting, is that games lost by injury. And it's not rocket science, but it's just another good reminder that the teams that find a way to stay the healthiest, outside of the Bengals were the one outlier on that list of who missed the fewest games. They were the teams that were there at the end. Green Bay was in the top 5 of missed games. And when you're talking about the type of player that we missed, it's not an excuse when it is a reason, and it was both. But that's how you end up finishing games, and we'll see if they're able to find that right mix of hitting, competing, and staying healthy, because that is the biggest question that coaches have when they sit guys in games and when they try to figure out how to handle practice schedule. How you balance that is really critical, and there's no right answer, unfortunately. There's only the results. You can have all the processes you want, but if guys get hurt, you're going to be second-guessing what happened.
We'll have more from the NFL meetings in Arizona, including a tidbit about the LaFleur brothers after Tausch tells us about what Annex Wealth Management has planned.
Oh, and I am going to get some information early hopefully in the next couple of days. We got something really fun planned for the middle of April with Doc and with the great team at Annex. It is going to be fun. But until then, when you did your taxes this year, did you notice that things looked a lot different? Well, it's because there are a bunch of new changes, including new deductions. There's a car loan interest deduction, a tax deduction for tips, a tax deduction for overtime pay, and a senior bonus deduction. And the standard deduction is higher for most people as well. You got new forms to fill out. You have all these changes. You have all these questions. Why not go to an expert? And boy, do they have a team of experts at Annex. Good tax planning. They take everything into consideration. Everybody always wants, how do we get a good return? How do we find all? Well, you can get a good return, and you can get an even better return when you have your tax business handled. And that, my friends, Annex has the answers. Go to annexwealth.com to find your representative that will help you with the great team, again, over at Annex Wealth Management.
Get to more from Matt LaFleur next. It's Wilde Tausch.
This
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance. Stay up to date on the Green and Gold all off season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year.
For over 50 years, Covenant House has been helping youth in crisis. To learn more, go to covenanthouse.org today.
Mark Tauscher here for Iron Jock. As a former athlete, I've worn just about every type of workout gear there is, and nothing compares to Iron Jock. Their performance apparel is built to fight sweat, odor, and bacteria, keeping you feeling fresh no matter how hard you push. From the gym to the pickleball court, Iron Jock keeps you dry, comfortable, and confident. Upgrade to Iron Jock. Available now at ironjock.com.
This is Coach Greg Gard. Strong teams succeed with the right partners. Bank CMG works closely with Wisconsin business owners, offering local insight, modern tools, and honest guidance you can trust. They take the time to understand your goals and help you build something sustainable. Whether you're managing cash flow, planning for growth, or navigating change, having the right banking partner matters. When your business matters, your bank should too. BankCMG.com.
Life's better with Drive My Way from American Family Insurance, because we know it's more than just a car. It's your escape pod, your adventure mobile, your memory maker. And we help protect the dreams that drive you. Personalize what you pay for auto insurance and you could save between 10 and 35%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Unsafe driving behaviors may increase your rate. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
You asked and Carbless delivered. The fan favorite grapefruit flavor now has its own 4-pack all to itself. That bold, bright, perfectly balanced citrus taste that you've been pulling from the variety pack, it's now front and center in 4 cans, 1 box. Crisp, refreshing, not too sweet, and nothing else has changed. 0 sugar, 0 carbs, just 100 calories and gluten-free. Clean ingredients and big flavor. Always no compromises. Grab the new Carbless Grapefruit 4-pack wherever you get your Carbless and find a location near you at drinkcarbless.com. Carbless, bold flavor in every sip.
Look, it's Jake from our store in Kenosha.
Hi, Monica. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Rick.
Your email said you had a big surprise.
Look and tell me what you see.
Wow, I see 9 perfect examples of the classic diamond solitaire engagement ring.
They're gorgeous.
These rings are exactly what people imagine when they hear the words engagement ring.
Monica, do you think it will always be like that?
Evermore.
That long?
And each of these is 3/4 of a carat.
$998.
Unbelievable. So how much do we sell them for?
That is how much we sell them for.
Can we do that?
We're the largest employee-owned jewelry company in America, Rick. We can do anything we want.
But for how long?
Evermore.
People can choose any of the 9 most popular style solitaires, 3/4 of a carat, and each of them was created in the heart of a miniature star.
5 different diamond shapes, 2 colors of gold. Evermore, just $998.
Or $14.98 with 1 carat diamond center with diamonds on the side.
Learn more at KesslersDiamonds.com.
Prizes,
flyaways,
even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting ESPNWisconsinContests.com.
That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com. Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable just for you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today. This is Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
We'll get back to Matt LaFleur at breakfast at the Arizona Biltmore in Phoenix in a moment. But Jesse put a poll in the field, And then I see as I check the YouTube conversation, how do I get results on the YouTube poll?
I can see them. You probably have to be logged in, or you have to vote in it.
I am logged in. I did vote.
Is it the same question?
If the Chicago Bears are a given at number one, which other team is...
Are the Bears the given, though?
That's the way it's phrased?
You think so?
Okay. Is it a given? Because, God, I think people hate the Chicago Cubs a lot around these
Did
parts.
we hate the Lions when they were beating us around, or is it we were kind of going through some? We were kind of going through some growing pains, right? And we obviously sped it up, and then the Lions were great 2 seasons ago in the regular season. They haven't done anything, and they've always kind of felt like the forgotten brother in that whole
The initial
division.
reaction, I think everyone was kind of like, well, all right, this is cool for the Lions. Like
They're definitely third on them. Like, we hate the Vikings and Bears in a usually pretty equal, depending geographically.
Who's
where
better
we're
at a given time, right? The Lions, it was like, oh, wow, they're actually doing something good. And they beat us. Like, Rodgers and Jordan Love start. They got hot at the right time. And then eventually they became a very unlikable team because of Dan Campbell and some of the other personalities.
Well, I don't think many people don't like him.
Remember Amon-Ra St. Brown with the Green Bay sucks? Like, they became unlikable, but at first they weren't.
It's because we're Duke. People are going to hate us because they ain't us.
I saw in the YouTube comments someone suggested that the Bucks, back to our discussion of which NCAA tournament team is their Marquette.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Same building, yeah.
So I enjoyed that. But the poll question, Jesse, that is how you phrased it. You made the assumption that the Bears are the clear-cut number one. Who next do we... How did you phrase it? Least like? Is that what we did?
Which of these other teams is
hate?
Least liked by Wisconsin sports fans? Yeah.
I assumed it was going to be the Chicago Cubs, and it is. And now I'm curious if maybe if we shouldn't have assumed that the Bears were going to be the runaway, because the Chicago Cubs have 52.4% of the vote. And Minnesota in any sport is next at 35.2%.
Yeah, Gophers, definitely some vitriol there. Twins, I don't feel like anybody cares about the Twins.
I mean, the Vikings would probably garner the majority, or Minnesota football.
Vikings are third right now.
Yeah.
They're the last on the rankings division-wise.
It's a PJ Fleck vote, maybe.
So if we're looking at this from kind of the Duke perspective, which is why I brought it up.
And they're last at 4.8%. I would have...
Who's last?
I might have
Duke
voted them
last?
first.
Yeah. Well, that's because it's been a while. It's been 11 years since we've...
I feel like they're universally disliked by everyone.
You both are still feeling it that
I'm
way,
definitely guilty of that. Yes, for sure.
Yeah. I think maybe that's because we tasted it and it was pulled. But as far as Duke would be like the Seattle Seahawks, I think, for the Green Bay Packers.
That's pretty good. Yep, I would agree with that.
You know, it's like it's an out of division, but still
knocked us out in a gut-wrenching, high-stakes game.
Are they more the Seahawks or the 49ers?
I think the Seahawks. Because it's one. I mean, when you think Seahawks, you really only think of that one game.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
It's not. San Fran has done it numerous times. That would be Ohio State. San Fran would be Ohio State, except in women's hockey.
All right, so
and men's hockey, now that I think about it.
We have not talked a lot of Frozen 4 as of yet, but we will.
We going to Vegas?
Juncture.
So
I know you're angling for it.
I was under the impression, I thought they played this weekend, and then I was like,
no, we got a week. Yeah.
We got a week off.
We could plan this.
That whole Matt Bowen quote, it's so good. And I felt that way about Max's high school hockey season, where you know it's going to end, and you just want to steal a week. Well, they just stole themselves another 2 weeks, the coaching staff and the players and everything else. That is really a resonator to me. You know, if you're really involved with the team and when you're really bought in, those guys now get another 2 weeks and a great experience. This would be one of the most unheralded championships we've ever had. if somehow they can do this, because we left them for dead. I know I did. They could beat anybody. January and February, end of January, February, we were getting beat by everybody.
Yeah, wasn't good.
And then we had that one series that kind of flipped it, and then we lose in a brutal way, 7, whatever it was, on that random Wednesday afternoon that they played a game for whatever reason. And then they were like, we're not even going to make the tournament. We got to have Dartmouth beat Valencia State or something in order to make the tournament, and they do it, and we get in, and next thing you know, oh, no big deal, we'll go to a Frozen Four. No whoop. WCHA, an all WCHA deal, right?
North Dakota, the opponent in Las Vegas on April 9th for Wisconsin.
They skipped the weekend because it would be up against the men's basketball.
It's very smart to not do that.
And it's Easter for those who celebrate. Nice to not have it that weekend. It's convenient.
Matt LaFleur just said something that I think we're going to want to spend some time on.
This is the moment that we discussed earlier that you think is going to be what you just heard is what you think is the...
Again, I'm not there. Matt Steinman tweeting this out. I just shared it with you on the private Wilde Tausch Village text line. We will talk about it after Tausch tells us about Hard Rock Casino Rockford, where we will be a week from Wednesday.
Wow, we get to go on a Wednesday.
Doing the program, and I will be able to take advantage of the senior discount.
A premier entertainment destination just off I-90 in Rockford, Illinois. It offers the most generous and most frequent promotions of any casino in the Midwest. And Wednesdays, they're for the classic rockers at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Jason just mentioned it. We're going to be down there next Wednesday. Guests who are 55 years and older are invited to the Hard Rock Cafe every Wednesday. You get 50% off your meals of $40 or less. The offer can be directly redeemed at Hard Rock Cafe by printing a voucher at the kiosk, and you present it along with a valid ID and a Unity by Hard Rock rewards card. You don't get to take it to go, though, Jesse. So there's no to-go orders that you can't be ordered at getting 50% off. Play, dine, shop, and enjoy live shows and, of course, that great sports book that we're going to dabble.
Oh, yeah.
We will dabble, and it's usually probably the only thing we ever win on is Brewers, so that's probably where we'll go. But I got a hunch we'll do a little Packer pre-season guessing as well. It's a premier entertainment destination just off of I-90 in Rockford, Illinois.
All right. I am not always perfect in my news judgment. But not Rich Bisaccia, not the 3-4, not Matt LaFleur's contract extension. I do declare, this will be the headline coming out of Matt LaFleur's breakfast conversation, breakfast with the boys, if you will. We'll tell you what it was. And we'll see if Tausch agrees with me. Next, it's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Thinking about buying or building a new home? Start with a mortgage pre-approval from Great Midwest Bank and experience a state of tranquility. At Great Midwest Bank, we offer fast approvals and flexible options with experienced loan officers who understand the local market, because they live here too. Whether you're breaking ground for new construction or buying that dream home just around the corner, we'll guide you every step of the way. Bank with confidence and start your journey at GreatMidwestBank.com. Great Midwest Bank, your simply local equal housing lender.
Wisconsin weather doesn't wait, and neither should you. At Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, we make upgrading your home simple. Right now, order today and get 0% interest until 2032. You heard me right. 0% interest all the way until 2032. Upgrade your windows and doors now and pay over time without paying interest. With our 10-year limited warranty, you can feel confident in your investment. Schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. 3/31/2026.
Every so often in medicine, something comes along that is truly revolutionary.
Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, former orthopedic surgeon, now National Medical Director at QC Kinetics.
I believe this is one of those things.
Dr. Scheinkup is talking about regenerative medicine, something he's practiced, researched, and written about for nearly 2 decades.
The old ways of dealing with joint pain, such as steroids and surgery, are no longer the best ways.
If you have pain from arthritis or injury, you owe it to yourself to learn more about this exciting option. using your own body's natural power to get lasting relief. And there's no better place to learn than QC Kinetics.
There is no one in this country today with more clinics, more satisfied patients, more advanced protocols, or more experience in using this exciting option to deliver life-changing results.
Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-240-2298. That's 414-240-2298. 414-240-2298.
Wisconsin, let's keep this simple. If you've been patiently waiting for Yuengling to finally make its way here, thanks for hanging in there. If you believe a beer tastes even better after shoveling the driveway, mowing the lawn, or putting in an honest day's work, well, you're our kind of people. Wisconsin, it's finally here. Yuengling, oldest brewery in America, family owned and operated for 6 generations, and now officially in Wisconsin. Yuengling, the oldest brewery in America. DG Yuengling & Son, Pottsville, PA. Enjoy responsibly.
Calling all seafood lovers, the lobster salad sub is officially back at Cousin Subs. Fresh lobster mixed with our creamy signature mayo, topped with tomato and onion, served over crisp lettuce and finished with a sprinkle of Old Bay. All on our fresh-baked Italian bread. It's a crave-worthy classic you can enjoy in store, online, or on the app, but only through April 5th. So catch it while you can. Cousin Subs. We believe in better.
Hack yeah! It's ESPN Wisconsin's Alex Stroh for Robert Hack Diamonds. 3 locations in the Milwaukee area, 2 in Brookfield, 1 in Greenfield, where I went, to buy my fiance's dream engagement ring. You don't become Wisconsin's most trusted and respected name in diamonds on accident. Robert Hack Diamonds has been in Wisconsin for almost 80 years, serving the Milwaukee area and all of the state with top-notch customer service and all the help you need along the way. I had no idea what I was doing. I knew I got the girl right, but I wanted to get the diamond right too, and Robert Hack Diamonds made sure that happened. If you're looking to take that next step just like I did, there's only one place to go. That's Robert Hack Diamonds, 3 locations in the Milwaukee area. Tell them I sent you, and whether you like me have no idea what you're doing or have a really good idea of what you're doing, go to the best in Wisconsin. You want that day to be special, and you want that ring to be special. They created my fiance's dream engagement ring, and they can create yours too. Visit them online, roberthackdiamonds.com, or in Greenfield or Brookfield. And just like me, you'll leave that store saying, heck yeah, because of Robert Hack Diamonds.
You're listening to Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
So Matt LaFleur speaking with reporters in Arizona. According to Ryan Wood of the Green Bay Press-Gazette and Matt Steinman of The Athletic, Matt LaFleur said some players were upset about their roles last season and, quote, I think that took a toll on our football team. Asked if those players are still on the team, LaFleur said he wouldn't get into individual guys. Said that he and his staff need to do a better job of making roles clear internally, and said that he believes that that had something to do with the NFLPA report regarding respect for players. It's on you to do something about that. All right, Tausch, this is...
meaning it's on him.
Yes, okay. You, meaning the staff, yep. Him and his staff.
Well, it's a him, yep, but his staff. So that it is interesting, and I think you're going to be 100% right with the fact that is, initially you hear that and you start thinking, well, who would be upset with their role last year? Which guys would be upset? I think you could take a look. I would say that Dontavian Wicks was probably not happy with his role. I know he was dinged up. Probably not too excited about it. I would think Luke Musgrave probably not real excited about his role last year. Offensive line, we typically don't get into all that. Maybe it's different with this
Jordan
group.
Morgan.
I would think he would probably be upset about it. He'll get that opportunity. But that is the way to defeat a football team from within. And when coaches and organizations say the locker room is the most important room in their building, they're 100% right. And that's got to be right. And that has to come from leadership not only from a coach's staff standpoint, but also from the team. I'm going to tell you, man, our offense, especially later on in my time, we had guys that were unhappy. But you have to have a coalescence around the team, and you have to have open, hard, communicative conversations. And I don't mind when guys are irritated they're not playing, but I'm not interested in you pouting and being a cancer to the team, because it is. And, finding that role and making sure guys understand it, not everybody is going to love their role. Not everybody's the starting quarterback. Not everybody's the starting tailback. But everybody has a role. And our best teams, whether it was Najee knowing, hey, man, I'm going to be the hard yardage back. Tony Fisher's going to be a third down back. That was when our team was really humming. Everybody, Nick Lucci, hey, man, I'm going to be in, I'm going to block, I'm going to do this. We had all of these different guys that I'm sure thought I could do more, but, man, I'm going to do everything I can with what they ask me to do. And it's odd to hear that coming from a team that was 9-3-1,
correct,
sitting at the doorstep. That needs to get snuffed. That cannot happen. And I'm glad Matt LaFleur is addressing it now. He needed to address it last season.
So I have to issue a correction because I misread this as well. Continuing in a subsequent tweet from Matt Schneidman, LaFleur said it's on him and the coaches to make sure players understand their roles, but added of the players, quote, it's on you to do something about that. So I think that's a little different, right? I mean, they have to communicate better, but I find myself wondering now, and as you pointed out,
which players do you think are culprits in this?
Well, what I'm struggling with are the players that I would guess. Look, I'm going to guess Quay Walker. I think Quay Walker, even though he played all the time, I'm going to guess he didn't like the way he was utilized. And he said something to that effect when he arrived in Vegas. I have to go back and find it. But he made a comment.
I'm sorry, if you're playing every snap, it's you to you can not like a scheme, but you could still be a player. I don't disagree that Quay Walker probably was one of those guys, but he was mad he didn't get paid.
Yeah,
let's not twist anything. If they had given him the contract that the Raiders got, you ain't hearing what he just said.
Well, I don't know what the Packers' offer was to him. I would also say that if he felt like they didn't use him the way he wanted to be used, he was probably leaving regardless. And to your point, I think you're exactly right, that if you don't like the way you're being utilized when you're playing darn near every snap, I don't know what to tell you.
If you're a high rep count, snap count guy, I'm not interested in all your complaining. Now, if you want to go in-house and say, what about this? And you're out there, make a difference. These schemes aren't that radical that you don't know. Now, if you're not getting your playing time and somebody's not playing well and you don't get those opportunities and you believe it, I don't mind you being mad, but it still comes back to understanding what your team needs at that point. And I love this quote. I don't love the coach, but when he's like, make it impossible for me not to play you. Coaches want to win. They're not interested in all this other fluff. If you are out there and consistently give the effort and the execution that you need, you're going to play. And when you don't, you won't. Sports isn't that complicated.
So my next guess, and I think this is a much more educated one because I had a conversation with him, and he seemed legitimately downtrodden and frustrated and irritated, is Matthew Golden. I think Matthew Golden thought he was going to get far more opportunity than he did, even with being dinged up. I would not be surprised if he was in this. And again, I feel very irresponsible about this, and I understand Matt LaFleur's situation, right? He can't say, well, it was this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy.
And I understand why you feel that way. I think Dontavian Wicks, the receiver room always, whenever I hear this, no offense to the receiving,
right.
This is the
place
first
you
thing.
think.
Because that's just how it is.
Yep.
And I'm going to tell you something. That room, while Christian Watson can be a great leader, you know who handles that room?
The quarterback.
Bam. That room is handled by the quarterback. You don't have – your quarterback needs to make sure they're very upfront. And it ain't going to be – and you could say, I don't like Rodgers eye rolling. I don't like all this other stuff. You heard small things with Favre and with Rodgers very rarely. And I'm going to tell you, there is a lot more behind the scenes that went on than you'd ever imagine.
Why? Why did we not hear it then?
Because you don't go – that's just not how you handle business. And you need people to tell you that, and you need to understand. You don't miss practices. You don't skip, and it gets suspended. You got to snuff that out, and you got to say, who's with me? And quarterbacks are going to throw the ball to the guy that's open. There's going to be a pecking order. Hey, deal with it. That's life. And if you can't, all right, great. We'll get somebody else. And Matthew Golden, I'm sure, was frustrated last year. And I'm sure Packer fans were looking at that Bears playoff game and like, wow, why wasn't he doing that all year? And Matthew Golden's probably saying all offseason, see what happens? You put me out there? Well, how are you practicing? Are you giving the coaches the – it isn't just show up and play. There's a process. And young players, you got to learn it. I'm not at all frustrated with Matthew Golden. If he wants to be mad, that's fine. Hopefully it wasn't – being a disturbance. I don't think it didn't. Nothing ever. He didn't miss. I don't think. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But that room is run. It needs to be run by the quarterback. Jordan Love, I'm certain, and they were always talking about growing your leadership and stepping up. And he's now another year older, and he's got more credibility within that locker room. He's got to use that. He's got to use that credibility that he's got, and make sure that that room is right. Because Again, it is speculation. I don't know. You don't know.
No.
But we can certainly speculate. If I'm guessing, there are some cats that aren't happy with their role. And that's okay. But it's not okay to not still go out and do the role that is asked of you when you're called upon.
All right, I want to discuss this further. I did retweet Matt Schneidman's post, and now I've gotten a response from our good friend Aaron Nagler of Cheesehead TV. I am in the mood for drama this morning, Jason. Look, I don't know. I do feel uncomfortable speculating. That's not my gig. But I don't know how you don't see this and go, whoa.
Well, which wideouts last year would have been happy? Dobbs probably wasn't that happy. He would have liked the ball more. But you didn't hear anything
Reed was
from
hurt
him.
for virtually the entire year.
Watson seemed happy.
Watson was more than completely happy. Now, if they don't give him a pay raise at some point, I don't know how happy
he won't be that happy either. Yeah.
Wicks
Kraft
to me,
was happy.
if I'm Dontavian Wicks, and I know he had injury stuff that happened, but he ain't happy. He is right now. Nobody's thinking of him as one of their top three. Jaden Reed was injured most of the season. How upset was he? I don't know. I'm certain he probably wasn't super excited about how the last season went, but that was not really in anybody else's hands. So, yeah, Matthew Golden, first-round pick, first time in 20-some blanking years, and he thinks he's the hot shot. No question, he should. But, yeah, I'm sure he wasn't happy.
All right, I want to talk about this some more because I do, and I don't want to be get off my lawn guy, but I also find myself wondering, and I was thinking this when those grades from the NFLPA surveys that the NFL worked so hard through the legal system to prevent them from being released, then got leaked all to the insiders almost immediately when they were available. And we saw what Matt LaFleur's grade was. Now, I saw Matt Schneidman
Still got a B, didn't he? It wasn't like they gave him an F, right?
Yeah, I don't... The respect for players angle, I think I'm fascinated by. And one of the thoughts I had that I want to talk a little more about is our players vastly different than even when you played?
No, I can answer that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that makes me wonder,
because Matt LaFleur could be everybody says they want blunt honesty until it hits you in the face. Like, I'm sure, like, if you go up to Matthew Golden is complaining, upset, or whatever it might be, again, speculative. Matt LaFleur, if he comes up and says, yeah, you're not practicing well enough, you're not doing this, this. Is that respectful? Yes, it is.
Right.
But do they see it from that perspective? Now, one thing that's not respectful is if you don't have clear communication. And I'm certain that Matt LaFleur could be better at that, too.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is hard as a coach. You know guys are working, and you don't want to disappoint people. But sometimes you have to.
Speaking of disappointed, Jesse, with Tausch gone last week, did we not give anything away from Iron Jock?
We did not. No, a lot of
Mark
hoodies.
Tauscher here. Why didn't you just do the Mark Tauscher voice and just do it?
No one does that like you do.
Jesse
Ole
didn't
T.
do it at all for anything.
Yeah. I was working hard back here. I didn't have time to work on my Tausch impression.
That's too bad.
But that means we got some extra hoodies that are looking for a home.
Let's find him a home, and let's go. We're gonna go big today. We're gonna go at Let's go 138. I don't know why. That's just the number we're going with. It's a former athlete, worn just about every. Get your call on. Start it up 844-770-3776. Caller 138. As a former athlete, I've worn just about every workout gear there is, and nothing compares to Iron Jock, their performance apparel, built to fight sweat, odor, and bacteria, keeping you feeling fresh no matter how hard you work, from the gym all the way to the pickleball court. Iron Jock will keep you dry, comfortable, and confident. Now you spend $50, you get 30% off, and we're going to throw in 2 free pair of socks with the code SOCKS2. That's socks and the number 2. You don't have to write it all out, and then you have to think, well, there's a TOOO, TWO. Just the number 2. Iron Jock will help you look good, smell good, keep showing up at ironjock.com. And it is your chance to win those great Iron Jock hoodies that we all have. We love them. Caller 138 to win an Iron Jock hoodie at 844-770-3776.
We'll continue our conversation on this. People unhappy with their roles. Next, it's Wilde Tausch.
This is Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Don't miss a moment of the basketball tournament action this March at 3rd Street Market Hall, home to your one-stop, must-stop viewing destination. 3rd Street Market Hall has over 20 locally owned food vendors, a 30 self-serve beer wall, over 50 HD TVs, plus game day specials. The perfect place to work remotely or catch a game between meetings or over lunch. 3rd Street Market Hall is your downtown home for basketball this March.
Turn those hoop dreams into reality with Precision Sports, your one-stop shop in southeastern Wisconsin for Mega Slam, Ironclad, and Dominator basketball hoop systems, installation of new or old hoops, and completely customizable painted court lines. PrecisionSportsOnline.com.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know you love working weekends. If it means working on your dream home, both inside and out. And we're here to help protect those dreams so you can enjoy peace of mind. Save up to 40% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
It's time for the Milwaukee Basketball Report on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by National Liquor Mart, located at 16th and National in Milwaukee. National Liquor Mart is packed with deals for all your beverage needs, where your satisfaction is their plan of action. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily.
After being eliminated from playoff contention on Saturday, the Bucks dropped their 4th straight game, falling 127-113 to the Clippers. Gary Trent Jr. led the Bucks with a season-high 36 points. Here's what he had to say after the game on his mentality going into the final games of the season.
Go out and fight. The season is not over yet. We still have a brand of basketball the Bucks want to play, a certain style we want to play and continue with from now on to the future. And again, you got to legwork that and ground that now.
Up next, the Bucks will host the Dallas Mavericks on Tuesday night at Pfizer Forum. I'm Will Summers.
This has been the Milwaukee Basketball Report on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by National Liquor Mart.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Game Night, so for Events by Design. Events like appreciation parties and retreats can go a long way towards boosting morale and retaining top talent. Events by Design is your go-to creative partner for employee events that truly make an impact. They help leaders retain top talent by making their people feel seen, valued, and celebrated. The creative team at Events by Design does all the planning and production, making sure things not only look great, but also work. Make a smart investment in your culture today. Search online, Events by Design. They design, you party.
UW Credit Union presents the Student Athlete of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. UW Credit Union is here for every you. Learn more at uwcu.org.
With your UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week, I'm Will Summers. This week's UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week is Platteville Junior Grant Poppy. Poppy powered the Hillmen to a regional championship, leading Platteville to 3 postseason victories last week. He opened the playoffs with 12 points and 6 rebounds in a 76-66 win over River Valley. He followed that with a dominant 21-point, 14-rebound effort in a 71-50 win over Mauston. Then capped the title run with 27 points and 12 rebounds in a 72-61 regional final victory over Lodi. Earlier this season, Poppy also reached the 1,000-point career milestone as just a junior, cementing his place among the program's all-time leading scorers. Congratulations to Grant Poppy, your UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week.
Injured? Call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
You're listening to Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Let the speculation continue. Aaron Nagler's response. Dude, I am thanking the content gods. This is perfect late March fodder. Again, I really mean it when I say this, and then I continue to do this anyway, so I don't know how authentic I'm being, but it makes me uncomfortable to speculate, but this is where we are. Like, can Nate Hobbs be unhappy with his role if he was injured as frequently as he was?
Let me tell you something. There are a lot of people unhappy with Nate Hobbs' pay and performance under the pay he got, and the fact that he's shutting down interviews from people. So
that was very.
I'm not real interested in Nate Hobbs' opinion on that, if I'm being honest.
So my question for you, Tausch, before we went to the break there and gave away our Iron Jock hoodie, was this: the idea that players are different now. And look, if anybody's going to be sensitive, Lord knows it's me, so I'm not casting stones at the glass houses here. But are players in the NIL era, in the transfer portal era, where we've heard Greg Gard talk about this, we've heard other coaches talk about, if adversity strikes, you go transfer somewhere else. You're not happy with your role, you transfer. Do you think that plays a role in how some of these players may have felt, even if we don't know which ones they are?
Absolutely. Yeah, there's a we're all in this phase now of life where everything has to be now. There is no grow. There's no struggle, compete. It's if there's not, there's something better on the other side. And, I think maybe in the past we've stuck to things too long, maybe, and maybe that wasn't healthy. I think none of us want to suffer and go through what, unfortunately, to be a professional athlete and to go through it, you're going to have to suffer. You're going to have some tough scars. There's going to be some moments that suck. Not everything is seashells and beaches, balloons, yeah. Whatever. There's going to be. That's what allows you to become that. And there is a little bit of that gone. we glaze. There's way too much glazing early. You're the best. You're great. You're this. Blah-da-da-da-da. And then when someone finally does coach you, you look at them like, what are you doing? No, that's not.
I'm the best.
I'm starting to see this in 8th and 9th grade. You need to be coached. And for as big of a jerk as some of these coaches, and Danny Hurley is one of those guys. Mm-hmm. A lot of people hate him. He has there are now. Do you have to be to the degree? I don't know, but it certainly has worked, and his players love him. Not everybody can play for him. And Bobby Knight was somebody. And you know what? I bet Coach K, I'm sure he was a jerk. You could ask Battier and Jason Williams, all these guys. I'm guessing not everything was, Con, you're the best player ever. Oh, no. And now coaches want to be a lot more relationship-based and mutual respect and all of that. And I'm not 100% certain that there needs to be all of that. Mm-hmm. But players, they still need to be pushed and not told. I always just remember, don't read your newspaper clippings. Well, there ain't no newspapers anymore. So now it's you're going to see and hear, and that's where the whole breakdown of mental health and all this other stuff. You get online, you're going to see a lot of people saying a lot of stuff about you that ain't pretty. I'd rather it be in person with people that actually know what the hell's going on and want me to be successful. People online don't care or they don't care.
Great point.
But coaches, they want you to be successful because that makes them successful. And especially if you build a relationship, you can trust that it's coming from a good place. And that has been diminished. I'm not saying it's gone, but from back in the old days where it was probably skewed too far the other way, it's diminished. I don't think it's been good for athletics. Not at all.
All right, we'll see if there's anything else that jumps out from
I'll
Matt.
Speculate a little bit more, though. I'm with Nagler on this. I want to hear more of your speculations. Right. You're in that locker room.
Yeah.
You're in that locker room all the time. Hobbs, I'm with him on Hobbs.
Okay.
I think the receivers. I think you're spot on. I think the Quay Walker one is very.
Quay was good.
I'm guessing if I'm Lucas Van Ness last year, I probably I know you were dinged up. I don't know how excited he was. I'm guessing 5-2 right. That just left the building.
Let's put together our list.
5-2 is probably. Do you want to go our top 3? The 3 of us can do our top 3. Speculate. We could do a draft.
Let's do a snake draft. So we'll see. Well, Jesse, figure out a way to find the draft order, and we will draft our. I'm going to lean into this as uncomfortable as it makes me, and we're going to speculate on who was disgruntled and who was just gruntled last season. Before we can do that, we are never disgruntled, and we are very happy with the role that American Family Insurance has played in our show from its inception.
Proud partner from the jump of Wilde Tausch about 10 years ago, and since 1927, they've been committed to making life better with outstanding home and auto protection. Also, you can go and chase your dreams, so insure carefully and dream fearlessly with American Family Insurance.
The Wilde Tausch Disgruntled Draft kicks off the 11 o'clock hour in 2 minutes, so stick around.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
March into big savings at Exterior Pros and Baths. Refresh your home this season with energy-efficient windows, durable roofing, beautiful new siding, or a stunning bath remodel and get $3,000 off your project. That's $3,000 in instant savings during their March savings event. But this offer won't last long. Call 262-800-4274 or visit extpros.com today. Exterior Pros and Baths. Big savings done right.
$2.3 million. A recent Schwab survey of Americans says that it takes $2.3 million to be wealthy. Well, you may have had your financial plan set on a bigger or a more humble number. But if you're looking for added insights on how to get there or how to avoid some tax pitfalls on the way, Annex Wealth Management is ready to listen. Mark Tauscher here, and whether your situation is complex or simple, the Annex Wealth Management team can give you wealth expertise and guidance on reaching your goals. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference.
Wisconsin weather doesn't wait, and neither should you. At Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, we make upgrading your home simple. Right now, order today and get 0% interest until 2032. You heard me right. 0% interest all the way until 2032. Upgrade your windows and doors now and pay over time without paying interest. With our 10-year limited warranty, you can feel confident in your investment. Schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. 3/31/2026.
You asked and Carbless delivered. The fan favorite grapefruit flavor now has its own 4-pack all to itself. That bold, bright, perfectly balanced citrus taste that you've been pulling from the variety pack, it's now front and center in 4 cans, 1 box. Crisp, refreshing, not too sweet, and nothing else has changed. 0 sugar, 0 carbs, just 100 calories and gluten-free. Clean ingredients and big flavor. Always no compromises. Grab the new Carbless grapefruit 4-pack wherever you get your Carbless and find a location near you at drinkcarbless.com. Carbless, bold flavor in every sip.
This is Wisconsin basketball head coach Greg Gard. This is 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD2, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
The 11 o'clock hour of Wilde Tausch begins now. And it begins with our disgruntled draft. In case you're joining us late, Matt LaFleur speaking at the annual NFL meetings at the Arizona Biltmore in Phoenix. Per Matt Schneidman of The Athletic and Ryan Wood of the Green Bay Press-Gazette, some players were upset about their roles last season and, quote, I think that took a toll on our football team. Asked if those players are still on the team, LaFleur said he wouldn't get into individual guys. He said it's on him and the coaches to make sure players understand their roles, but added of the players, it's on you to do something about that. Adding this from Ryan Wood, who also is there, and said that he thought that he and his staff need to do a better job of making rules clear internally, and that he believes that it had something to do with that NFLPA grade report card regarding his respect for players. All right, so, Jesse, have you figured out how we're going to execute our draft?
Yes, I did a random selection of our names, and we will do the draft in snake fashion.
Cheese fry helmet?
Yep. Sure. Or I just made it up.
Okay, who's got the first pick?
First pick belongs to
Mark Tauscher.
Oh.
Mark Tauscher has the first pick of our 2025 Disgruntled Packers draft.
Who's sitting in the 3 spot? I would like to trade my first round pick for the
oh my God.
3 and 4 if Jason is up for a trade.
No, I want to keep. I'm going to participate in this.
Okay.
Unlike
you're gonna. Okay,
Yeah, so
I'm gonna go Matthew Golden. I think Jason brought that up. Obviously, he's in the locker room. He's talking to these guys. Matthew Golden, I think, was frustrated last year. I think we heard some rumblings of that. There are plenty of others that I would like, but because he's still on the team, and I think he's going to have a huge role, Matthew Golden, I'm going to use with my first pick of the Disgruntled Packers 2025 season.
It's an excellent first overall pick. The first wide receiver selected in the first round of the disgruntlement drafts in 23 years. Jesse, who are you taking?
Well, I'm going to assume that since he's no longer on the team, there's a couple of guys that would fit this mold. If they're no longer on the team, and they didn't seem to be too disappointed about being on their way out, that they're probably going to be factored into this list. So my first-round selection for players who were disgruntled with their roles last year, Rashawn Gary. Rashawn Gary is my first-round pick.
So,
I can't imagine he was happy.
So, all right. So let's pause the draft briefly here. We talked a fair amount about why Golden might have been unhappy, and I mentioned the conversation I had with him. What would Rashawn Gary have to be unhappy about, realistically? That would be my question. I don't think, Jesse, and I'm not saying that you're wrong.
I wonder how he felt. Really?
The low snap count?
No, about Micah Parsons.
That's what I was thinking. The minute they trade for Micah Parsons.
Because that was a slap to his ego, because he wasn't Micah Parsons.
And it's heralded as the move that's going to make them into Super Bowl contenders.
And then it added another layer of pressure to Rashawn, and we need you to perform. You're not the guy anymore. Like you get paid double what Rashawn got. Like there's a lot of reasons for Rashawn. No, they're not viable, in my opinion. But since you asked the question, that's how I would answer it.
And then Micah comes in and everybody loves him, and he's kind of getting after Rashawn Gary, whether it's on social media.
Seem to like Rashawn Gary.
He is not a Rashawn Gary.
I'm sure that didn't just start after the season ended, so I'm sure that had something to do with it.
And I wonder if that's one of the reasons Rashawn was all right with, he could have probably been more of a you-know-what about the trade to Dallas. Now he could go down and be to Dallas what they want, a run stopper. Now, I think he's delusional if he thinks because he's not Micah. Know your role, baby. He ain't Micah.
That's a really interesting discussion right there. All right, I'm up on the clock, and I am going to take Quay Walker, who departed in free agency for the Las Vegas Raiders, had a contract offer on the table from the Packers, said it on the record early in the season. To support my position, this is what Quay Walker said upon his arrival in Vegas. I know Rob Leonard, who is their defensive coordinator, I believe, is going to use us the right way and set us up for success. It's going to fit perfectly. I had a talk with him last night at dinner. I'm not going to go into everything, but I know he's going to use me the right way, lining me up in different positions and just moving me all around so other teams can't really recognize what I'm going to do.
What?
I think he's really going to bring out my skill set because I think he understands me, although he hasn't really seen me on the field yet. But I know he's watched me and did a lot of things like that. So I think I'm going to be used the right way. I think he's going to do it the right way. I think Quay Walker is definitely one of the players who was unhappy with his role.
I would agree. That's a solid first-round pick.
I believe it.
I think he's delusional if he thinks he's going to have more success with the Raiders. Now, maybe individually he might, but wasn't he always the leading tackler for this group?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So, Jason, in a snake draft, you get another pick.
I've heard that, yes. So, with my second-round selection, I am going to take Nate Hobbs. And again, I feel like I'm picking players that I don't quite understand how they could have been disgruntled necessarily. But that doesn't change the fact that I think they were unhappy. And Nate Hobbs was dinged up throughout the season, played through some injuries. I don't think he appreciated being criticized for his play when he was trying to play through his knee issues and what have you. He didn't play great, though. And there's a reason why the Packers didn't bring him back, because it's not like they didn't sign him with the intent of him being a one-year player. Instead, they released him after one season. So I'm going to take Nate Hobbs as my other disgruntled selection.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I think he was definitely disgruntled.
But to Tausch's point, I think the Packers had every right to be disgruntled with him.
I would be more. We could also flip this and say, who do the Packers most disgruntled with? Rashawn
we can do
Gary
that in the next draft.
There could be a lot of the same names. Yeah. All right, I'm up with my second-round pick then, and I am going to take a wide receiver because I'm sure several of them, as we just talked about last segment, are on this list. I'm going Dontavion Wicks because I think a lot of fans were disgruntled about how his role was utilized as a wide receiver, and you want the potential to match the production, and it just felt like that hasn't happened yet for Dontavion Wicks. So any receiver who's not getting as many balls thrown his way as he would hope that he would is probably going to be on this list, and he would be at the top of it in that group.
Boy, I was a little nervous that it was going to be hard pressed to get the guys I wanted. There's actually more guys available to me than I thought. I think there was a lot of disgruntlement.
I think so too.
I think we could have definitely felt great about having a 4. We're only going to do 3, but we could have had 4 and probably snuck all the way to 5, which puts us at 15 of 53 guys.
Before you give your pick, just to Jesse's point about Dontavion Wicks, he was targeted a career low 46 times. He played in 14 of the 17 games. He started 7 of them. He had a career low in receptions with 30, a career low in yards with 332, and a career low in touchdown catches with 2. For snap counts, he played a career low number of snaps on offense as well, 408 after playing 586 in 2024 and 458 as a rookie in 2023.
Yeah, I'd be upset if I was him.
Yeah.
Disgruntled, some would say.
Part of it. Yep.
All right, so I literally have 4 or 5 guys here that I would take. Dontavion Wicks was going to be my pick because I wanted to go wideouts, just because to reiterate that they're always disgruntled. It's just the level of disgruntlement. But this is an easy one for me. I'm going to go Valentine, the defensive back.
Yeah, another good one.
He didn't play. He didn't want to tackle. There's some criticism. He's a good cover guy. But you could just sense there's some disgruntlement there. And I think even with Keyshawn, there was a little bit of disgruntlement. I'm not going to go with him, although I think if you put him on this list, I'm not going to argue that he'd be on it. That was an easy one for me. And this one, I'm torn. I'm going to do an honorable mention because I don't know if you guys are going to. No. If you guys don't mention him. If you do. Go ahead, Jason.
Quick follow-up, because I thought your insight on wide receivers was spot on. Are corners oftentimes disgruntled people?
Less than receivers, but I would put that group as the number 2 group on the list.
And why do you think that is?
I think there's just a lot more trash talk. There's probably a lot more feelings getting hurt. You can get toasted, you can get beat up a little bit more. It's just different.
Okay.
It's a different skill set out there, man. And guys are incredibly confident in their abilities. Whereas offensive linemen were more, let's just not screw up type of mindsets. These guys are more playmaker, and they can get their feelings hurt, and then that can kind of tilt her into disgruntlement easier. Last one for me is Jordan Morgan. And I don't blame him for being disgruntled. I think he, of all the guys on this list, probably have as much of a reason to be disgruntled, moving around, no spot, or he never really was able to settle in anywhere. And now he's going to get an opportunity to be fully gruntled or super happy.
Right.
He's going to get his opportunity to be everything he's wanted since they picked him in the first round. So when Matt LaFleur is talking about players have to do their part, if I'm Jordan Morgan, I'm saying he's talking to me. You talking to me? Yeah, I'm talking to you, Jordan. You have the opportunity to be something we need in a big, big way. Go ahead and do it. So sometimes there's some gray area when coaches speak. Matt LaFleur, if I'm listening to what he said to Schneidman, I'm saying, yeah, Jordan Morgan would be that guy. And his disgruntlement, I think, was justified.
Is he the first one on the list that you think is legitimately, you said you agree that he has a right to be. Is he?
No, I think you could put that with Dontavion Wicks, too.
Okay.
But the bottom line is, if you're making plays and being consistent, you're going to get out there. That didn't happen.
Jesse?
I'm not going to say Romeo Dobbs because when Christian Watson was hurt, Dobbs did get a lot of productivity. So what I am going to say is Luke Musgrave with my third-round pick here. He was drafted ahead of Tucker Kraft. The expectation was that he was going to be kind of the savior at tight end when he was selected, and it turned out Tucker Kraft has been that guy and has become one of the beloved leaders and faces of the franchise. And I'm sure Luke Musgrave, in a limited role when Tucker Kraft went down, wasn't particularly pleased that he wasn't getting the ball more and able to showcase his skill set. And he also looks like a baby deer a lot when he catches the ball. So.
Yeah, good point, Jesse, because I would also say that it felt like even after Tucker Kraft got hurt, they would have rather had John Fitzpatrick and Josh Wiley on the field than Luke Musgrave. So he doesn't strike me as the kind of personality that would be acting out about his disgruntlement. But that's a good one. I'm going to do what the Minnesota Vikings did back when Tausch was a player. And I'm going to fail to get my card in because I want to hear what Tausch's... Because I have several players on my board as well. And I don't want to take his honorable mention. So, Tausch, who did you have as your honorable mention? And then I'll make my pick after that.
Elton Jenkins.
Oh, I was going to say him. I thought about it.
Elton, I think, obviously wanted a new contract. Didn't get it. He did get to play the position that he wanted to play, center. Didn't go well. Got hurt. And... my guess is he was a good soldier, but I don't know. Yeah. But if I was him, I could understand his disgruntlement. He put all this time in, wanted a new deal. The Packers probably wisely decided not to. They've been down this road. I don't have a problem with the Packers not doing it. I wanted Elton to really put a lot of pressure on them because they were banking on him. And instead they banked on Banks, and that didn't. Especially after Banks got that contract, I'm assuming Elton Jenkins probably was not very gruntled or was incredibly disgruntled.
I would agree. That was not who I was going to pick, so that worked out well.
Can I add an honorable mention also?
You sure can. Yeah, I still got plenty of guys on my board.
Clayton Tune.
Oh, you're stealing that from Dr. Denver Dan.
Oh, I didn't even see that one. I thought I was so clever with that. I'm sorry. I didn't see it.
He got screwed. He
may be the most legitimately disgruntled of anyone.
Clayton Tune should be upset.
You guys aren't kidding about that. Yeah. He got thrown. His
career is probably over.
You talk about somebody they put behind that bus, ran over 5-6 times, left him for dead, and said, "Thank you for your service."
They dropped him into, like, the literal, well, not the Lions because they were playing the Vikings, but they dropped him. He was fresh meat for that Vikings defense with a bad offensive line, none of the best pass catchers. He definitely deserves.
And I'm guessing he probably did it with a smile on his face and got on the bus afterwards and was like, "Thank you guys for feeding me to the Lions. I was looking to get, I'm guessing how he handled that.
So
until they cut him a week later.
Exactly. So the guy that I think was disgruntled, and he also departed, which if you're sensing a theme now, I've ended up with 3 guys that have departed. But I think J.J. Enagbare thought, I'm better than Rashawn Gary, and I should be getting significantly more snaps than him.
The league told him that he's not better than Rashawn Gary, though.
He got $10 million for one season.
Yeah, Rashawn Gary got a 4th-round pick, and he's still making $20-some-odd million.
Yeah. We were pro JJ, the jet plane, toward the end of the season, though. We both commented on the plays that he was making late in the year. But I also got that vibe from him that he was not especially happy. Is there anyone else that we think could be honorable mention, also receiving votes types? You mentioned Lucas Van Ness. I think that's an interesting one. Is there anyone else that we're not thinking of that we should be? And where do we stand on Keyshawn Nixon? Because I don't know if he had a lot to be disgruntled about last year, but I do find myself wondering, given his opinion of himself, if he's disgruntled now.
I'm not going to lie to you. We maybe forgot. Now, this was a players-only draft, right?
Oh, boy.
Rich Bisaccia.
Rich Bisaccia, yeah.
He is the number one pick.
Well, no, he just wanted to be closer to family.
He did say players were disgruntled with their roles, so I do think that has to be a separate.
Well, it would just be Rich. I don't think anybody else. Nobody else got fired. And old boy got a head coaching job and brought everybody that he wanted down to Miami with him.
Last one that maybe we've overlooked, but again, I don't know how his role would have been different, but he did leave pretty quickly, and not for a great contract, with a room full of other running backs vying to replace Kenneth Walker III. What about Emmanuel Wilson?
Yeah, he probably got passed up a little bit with Brooksy. Maybe, but he wouldn't have he would not have been in my top.
I was not considering picking him either. Well, that was an interesting exercise. I think the lesson that I'm taking from it is...
Who do you think the most happy was? And we'll do that tomorrow. We'll do the happiest of everybody tomorrow. I don't know how many people... No, I'm legit. I don't know how many are. I don't think there are that many.
So the fact that we were able to list off
Malik Willis to be at the top of the list.
Malik Willis was very happy with his role. Yeah.
What is it? Let's put a bow on this.
Punter'd be very happy, although he didn't get enough punts.
Was McManus happy? I don't know.
God, no.
No. And we'll see if he's
probably's
still the
on this list.
Actually, Haversick could be on the disgruntled list because he outperformed McManus and then got bumped.
Let him go kick with a bum leg, and then Haversick comes back, can't make a kick.
My question is, we put a bow
thinking
on
about it. This is a disgruntled squad.
That's what I'm asking. What does this tell us that we had? Even if we're speculating and we're wrong on some of these players,
I don't think we're wrong. I don't think we're very wrong on this.
I am open to being wrong, but if we have 9 guys plus honorable mentions, what does that tell us about the chemistry and the connectivity of this team then, if we're able to make this list, speculative though it may be?
Seems like DS. The connective tissue and everything that you're talking about is DS.
Disgruntled.
No, dog excrement.
Oh.
Did neither of you guys know what DS means?
No.
I did not know that one.
I've heard BS before.
I want to just start saying it. What happens if I just start saying it?
Can
you say that?
We got a button for that.
You get in trouble, and someone's going to yell at you.
And maybe that's why Micah's got his boys down there working with him, the young guys. Maybe Micah sees that and understood it, and that's why he knows he's got to be a catalyst for change.
He's also been disgruntled himself during his time in Dallas.
He knows disgruntlement.
Do we need to be worried?
Disgruntlement.
Are we worried at all that he could become disgruntled if he's predisposed to do that? You will never be disgruntled with your windows if you call Gina Della.
Our homes, they need to be ready for anything in Wisconsin, and if the month of March doesn't show you that, I don't know how to help you. That's why Pella will focus on quality and durability in everything they do. The right windows and doors vastly improve your home's comfort, efficiency, and overall style. And with Pella, you will get those expert recommendations designed around your home, your needs, and within your budget. Don't miss out on that 0% financing all the way to 2032. That offer ends tomorrow, the 31st of March. Visit PellaWI.com today to learn more.
More disgruntlement next. It's Wilde Tausch.
This is
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Don't miss a moment of the basketball tournament action this March at 3rd Street Market Hall. Home to your one-stop, must-stop viewing destination, 3rd Street Market Hall has over 20 locally owned food vendors, a 30 self-serve beer wall, over 50 HD TVs, plus game day specials. The perfect place to work remotely or catch a game between meetings or over lunch. 3rd Street Market Hall is your downtown home for basketball this March.
Calling all seafood lovers, the lobster salad sub is officially back at Cousin Subs. Fresh lobster mixed with our creamy signature mayo, topped with tomato and onion, served over crisp lettuce, and finished with a sprinkle of Old Bay. All on our fresh-baked Italian bread. It's a crave-worthy classic you can enjoy in store, online, or on the app, but only through April 5th. So catch it while you can. Cousin Subs. We believe in better.
Mark Tausch here, and you know I love a smart play from the pocket. That's why I joined UW Credit Union. With their mobile banking app, I can make smart plays from anywhere. And with rewards checking perks like early payday, I score my money sooner. Stop by any of their local branches or visit uwcu.org to join and make the smart play by becoming a UW Credit Union member like I did. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
Life's better with Drive My Way from American Family Insurance because we know it's more than just a car. It's your escape pod, your adventure mobile, your memory maker. And we help protect the dreams that drive you. Personalize what you pay for auto insurance and you could save between 10 and 35%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Unsafe driving behaviors may increase your rate. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Look around your office. Does it look like 1994 called and wants its lobby back?
Most brands just show up, often amongst outdated decor.
At Captivate Exhibits, ordinary space is the enemy. Beige walls, faded graphics, that motivational poster no one reads.
That's not culture, that's camouflage.
Captivate designs and build spaces that don't whisper, they speak. They spark conversations. People lean in.
Stop blending in and start captivating today at CaptivateExhibits.com.
Hey, it's ESPN Wisconsin's Alex Strofe. A couple of months ago, I knew one thing for sure. I had the girl. What I didn't know was what came next. Luckily, a friend of mine told me about the team at Robert Hack Diamonds and the job they do, getting you from knowing you have the girl to down on one knee. I had never been through this process before buying an engagement ring. I had an idea of what she wanted. She'd sent me pictures of some hints and some ideas, but I wanted it to be special and different, and that's where Robert Hack Diamonds came in. They created my fiance's dream ring, and it made that moment, that yes, that much more special. So if you, like me, know you've got the girl, but don't really know what comes next, go see the team at Robert Hack Diamonds. 3 locations in the Milwaukee area, 1 in Greenfield, where I went, and 2 in Brookfield, north and south. Their custom jewelry is made on site, lab-grown options, natural diamond options, and all the in-betweens. Stop in today or visit them online, roberthackdiamonds.com. That's Robert Hack, H-A-A-C-K, diamonds.com. And after you get that yes, like me, you'll say, heck yeah, thanks to Robert Hack Diamonds.
We have standards in Wisconsin. Cheese should squeak. Sports and tailgating go hand in hand with brats aplenty. And beef is a delicacy where each bite makes you close your eyes for a second. For 50 years, Bunzel's has been hand-selecting the finest beef, making homemade specialty sausages, and crafting award-winning jerky right here at home. Because Wisconsin is still cattle country, quality isn't optional. It's expected. And after 5 decades, Bunzel's still delivers. Stop in today at 90th and Burleigh or at bunzels.com.
This is Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
If we'll be putting a bow on this because this is clearly the most interesting thing that has come out of Matt LaFleur's breakfast in Arizona. But Tausch, for a little bit of context before we move on, Ryan Wood from the Press Gazette posted the video of this answer, and he writes that he asked Matt LaFleur what it'll take to push the Packers past the 7th seed in the NFC. And unprompted, he brought up players' discontent with their roles last season. My question to you is, and look, I want Matt LaFleur to do this. This is. I find this to be insightful and interesting and important, and I think our fans want to know about this. Does it surprise you a little bit that he offered this up?
Yeah, because he hadn't talked in 50 days, whatever it's been. So this obviously, I think he knew would be a talking point and something that fans are going to find very interesting. And it does not reflect greatly on him. So it also doesn't reflect greatly on players. But it is. I love when Matt LaFleur. There's no doubt that he has a game plan going into these, and understands. He's been around long enough to know what is going to get a ton of reaction and what won't. And he knew this would get a ton of reaction. And I think it's, again, I always tell you, he's not talking to you guys. He's talking sometimes to the fans, but most of the times this is another way to communicate with players, especially in the offseason. And he was very blunt in saying this has got to be better. And if you want to have a cohesive unit that will have resiliency, be able to finish, fight through when negative things happen, you have to have guys that are bought in and not looking to step out of that boat. You got to be willing to what is that called when you get the water out of the boat? Jesse, you're a boat guy.
Bailing?
Bailing out. Guys have to be willing to stick in there and stay. And the only way you have that is guys that are bought in and believe in what the role is on their team. And it sounds as if Matt LaFleur didn't feel like that he had as many of those guys as he needed last year.
I would just add this. Jesse has some audio. Is it from Ryan Wood, Jesse?
Yeah, it's our video clip with Ryan Wood out in Arizona.
So again, before we play this, and I appreciate you giving up some of Wonelli to play it because it's a little long of a clip. I am interested, and I would be curious the next time we do talk to Matt LaFleur. I think one of my questions would be, so what exactly do you do about this? Because it is still his job, and a lot of those players that we did list either are no longer here or are in contract years, right? Luke Musgrave contract year, Dontavion Wicks contract year, and you said it earlier, and you know this better than anyone, the most important room in the building is the locker room, and if you have a lot of unhappy people in it, that does affect the performance of your team. And I'm super curious, is Zaire Franklin's addition, who was well known as a captain and a leader in Indianapolis, is this something, too, that speaks to the lack of veteran leadership beyond Josh Jacobs, that they need more voices that can, if there are unhappy people, can take care of that sort of thing inside the locker room and say, hey, man, you got to be a pro. I understand you're frustrated, but you can't allow that to affect how you act around the building, et cetera, et cetera. I'm very intrigued by this, but that's probably because I like drama. Here is Matt LaFleur to the Green Bay Press-Gazette's Ryan Wood, again, apparently unprompted, offering up the disgruntled nature of some players.
I think, if I'm being honest about it, I think there were some guys that were upset about roles last year, and I think that took a toll on our football team. So you need guys that bring great energy every day. I think from a coaching standpoint, role clarity is key. So we got to obviously do a better job communicating with our players. Hey, here's your role, and if you're unhappy about your role, it's on you to do something about that, to carve out a bigger role on this football team.
That's exactly what I thought that would sound like.
A lot of noise, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's recording it in fairness to Ryan. He's recording that for social media, not for broadcast quality.
Well, it still sounds
but yes,
like crap,
there's a lot
no
of
matter
cacophony in the background. Yes.
Next year, Jason, if you're going to breakfast next year, can I go with you and be the official audio engineer of the NFL meetings?
You can.
So I went back because I was thinking about resurrecting Wilde's mailbox, and so I had to go back into my YouTube channel, which I had forgotten I even had one. And I had one with Mike McCarthy at this coach's breakfast, but I had the whole setup. Like, I had the microphone, like I put it in front of him on like a stand thing, and then I was told not to do that anymore. This was a little obtrusive. So you get what you get, and you don't throw a fit. Thank you to Ryan Wood for posting that on social media. But yeah, I can understand your disgruntlement with the quality of the audio.
Because every year that we do the same thing at these stupid meetings with Murphy and LaFleur, everybody. We haven't figured it. It's been like 5 years since we've had this issue.
If I go next year, I'll try to do a better job. We will get to Wonelli. You agree this is the story of the day now.
For sure. Why did Matt LaFleur give extra when he always is trying to not give extra?
This is my question.
No, why do you think he did?
Can we go to sleep on it, and maybe we could talk about it tomorrow? Because I don't know.
You'll tell another show before the day's over. We know how it works.
That'll be on Channel 3000.
Yeah.
I won't have why. I definitely won't have why. And I would say that I think I only have one show left to do today now, and that'll be KBN. So I'll give that some thought. But the why it's about the why, as they like to say. And by the way, it's also about the where. And when it comes to wanting to feel like you've escaped, you don't have to hop on a plane or board a cruise ship. Your next getaway is waiting right in Milwaukee at Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Start with the stay. The biggest hotel rooms in Milwaukee, nearly 500 beautifully designed rooms and luxury suites that are perfect for a weekend reset, a date night, or celebrating something big, and you're just steps away from all the fun stuff that's happening inside. And if you're hungry, you got tons of options. Premium steaks at Dream Dance Steakhouse. Pizza, burritos, quick bites at the Marketplace. Rock and brews for that high-energy vibe. And the incredible encrusted salmon that I love there. Canal Street Cafe, Ruyi Asian Kitchen, Cream City Coffee Company, food and drinks specials happening all the time. And if you're planning a wedding, a birthday, or anniversary, their event spaces are built to make it unforgettable. Sophisticated relaxation, incredible flavor, and a full night out all in one place. Potawatomi Casino Hotel. More Wilde and Tausch straight ahead. Stick around.
This is Wilde and
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Mark Tauscher here for Iron Jock. As a former athlete, I've worn just about every type of workout gear there is, and nothing compares to Iron Jock. Their performance apparel is built to fight sweat, odor, and bacteria, keeping you feeling fresh no matter how hard you push. From the gym to the pickleball court, Iron Jock keeps you dry, comfortable, and confident. Upgrade to Iron Jock. Available now at ironjock.com.
It's a great day for Brewers baseball, and with Brewers checking from Associated Bank, you get a powerful lineup of perks all season. Leading off is express entry with incredible speed. Next up, 20% off gear at the Brewers team store. Sporty stuff. And third, up to 50% off home game tickets. But if you can believe it, there's even more you can score. Because with Brewers checking, you get the strongest lineup in baseball. Only from Associated Bank. Join the crew at AssociatedBank.com/Brewers. Member FDIC.
I'm not against shopping online. In fact, you can check out our huge selection at BurkhartSportingGoods.com. But when you're ready to buy, Burkhart should be your only stop. Because here, you can grab hold of the Midwest's largest selection of baseball bats, gloves, and equipment, and take all the swings you need in our indoor batting cages to make sure you buy the right bat. And when you buy your new mitt, we'll steam and custom fit it for you right on the spot. This is Brian Burkhart, and when you love baseball and softball like we do, you can't beat Burkhart. If you're in charge of uniforms and equipment, you want to get the most value for your team's budget. You want the most for your money, and you want the process to be easy. Because you already have enough on your plate. We get it. Burkhart Sporting Goods Team Outfitting Division is the best you'll find. With an abnormally high customer satisfaction rate and our own silk screening and embroidery facility for quality control. So if you want the highest quality team outfitting and incredible service, you can't beat Burkhart.
Hey fans, John Kuhn here, team captain of the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and there's a reason it's considered the Midwest premier place to bet on all your favorite sports. The full bar, awesome dining, 2,000 square foot screen, and nearly 100 betting kiosks makes for an unbeatable playbook. Bet above the rest, only at Potawatomi Sportsbook in Milwaukee. More info online. Must be 21 to enter casino.
Come grow with us at Glenroy. For more than 6 decades, our family-owned company has built its reputation on quality, reliability, and providing strong career opportunities in our community. As the packaging industry rapidly grows, so does Glenroy. Here, you'll find competitive wages, a clean, modern workspace, fully vested 401k, yearly bonus award, and the chance to build a manufacturing career with purpose. Apply today at glenroy.com/careers. That's GLENROY.com/careers.
Spring is here, and living with your old, drafty, foggy, dirty, hard-to-open, bad windows is no longer an option. You deserve better windows and doors. At Siding Unlimited, we install top-of-the-line wood, vinyl, and fiberglass windows with options to fit your style, color, and design choices. Built for energy efficiency, installed by our professional craftsmen at Siding Unlimited. Siding Unlimited. Experience, integrity, craftsmanship. Visit sidingunlimited.com today.
Fisco is always there for your auto body care. When accidents happen, Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin is there when you need them. Got a broken mirror? They'll take care of it. Dented bumper? Scratch paint? Fisco Auto Body will take care of it. If there's any damage you need fixed, Fisco has you covered. Their expert workmanship is guaranteed for the life of your vehicle. So stop in for all of your auto bumps and dings. Once again, you know the line. That's Fisco.
You're listening to Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
We didn't leave him much time, but it is time for Whoa Nelly.
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocco's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Whoa Nelly
on Wilde Tausch.
I also want to be fair here, and my brother texted me during one of the breaks and said, well, when you were playing, how gruntled or disgruntled were your teammates? And
good question.
There are always teammates that are going to be disgruntled. You could be 16-0. I bet if you went to the Indiana football program and asked, was everybody loving winning? Sure. Was everybody happy with their role? No. Did Signetti get everybody to play to the role that he felt was best? Obviously, he did. So there is always going to be a level. I don't care if you're coaching 8th grade basketball or if you're coaching varsity or if you're coaching in the NFL. There's always going to be some level of a player thinking they're not getting what they should be, the scheme doesn't fit their skill set, and all this other stuff. And most of the time, it's complete blank.
Is that like bull blank?
Exactly.
Dog,
bull blank.
DS.
Exactly.
Whoa Nelly!
Yeah, but how much more than typical does it have to be for the coach to bring it up unprompted?
It's a great question. It's a really good question. I think more than usual.
Agreed.
Whoa Nelly!
And I still think the coaches have every right to be disgruntled about how some of their players played.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
Whoa Nelly!
It's the best Whoa Nelly ever.
I'll tell you what, coaches don't have any problem telling you. I'm telling you, man, that when I was, one of the times I was injured and I had one of those little headsets on.
I love this story.
The amount of blank that is spoken, and it is ruthless. Like, you want to start getting behind the scenes, get an all access to that. I'd love for with some of these charity, let a fan listen to the stuff that is spoken between
has in mind
the offensive coordinator and the play caller and the receivers coach. And, why did Golden run that route there? God dang it, blah, blah, blah. Well, we practice. It is a constant, man, the amount of just craziness that happens on that thing, I can't even begin to tell you.
Whoa, Nelly!
Wish I'd never heard it.
Can't unring the bell. Jesse, this has been your best Whoa Nelly
ever. That's all the time we have for Whoa Nelly today.
Seriously, do you have nothing at this point?
I had a couple of things I wanted to do.
All right, we'll get to them quick.
All right, the Pat McAfee show is live at the NFL meetings. I'm seeing it here on ESPN. It looks like everybody's loading up golf clubs into cars like they're about to go hit the links in Arizona. If they're golfing a foursome, if they're doing 8 foursomes of head coaches golfing.
They do this, by the way. They all go golfing. Not everyone goes,
Does
But
Ben
yes, this
Johnson
is
and
a
Matt
tradition.
LaFleur have any conversation this week?
Like, are they dividing it by division and
They
the
should.
NFC North coaches are all golfing together? And then who's LaFleur riding in the cart with?
You play with who you like.
KOC, Dan Campbell, or
it should be
Ben Johnson?
It should be a scramble. Like you do this at the NFL alumni event. You do this, and then the top 5 teams advance, and then they do an alternate shot that you have to go through, and you have a winner. Do it by divisions. Put it on TV. Raise some money for charity. Could you imagine the ESPN Wisconsin and ESPN Chicago if you could put a camera in that golf cart with Ben Johnson and Matt LaFleur? And you got Danny Campbell and KOC. Let's go.
That'd be way better than the match that they do with the celebrity.
Oh, there'd be some horrible golf, but you
would be way
scramby.
better. Andy Reid coming up with a chip shot on 17.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
Yep.
Would Matt LaFleur even talk to Ben Johnson?
There's no way he would ride in the cart with Ben Johnson.
No, he'd go with
he'd
KOC.
walk
He'd go with
first.
KOC. He'd probably go KOC.
That makes sense, right? And then Dan and Ben Johnson.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yep.
Yeah.
Whoa, Nelly.
Whoa, Nelly!
Where does the Duke-UConn buzzer beater yesterday rank among best NCAA tournament shots of all time?
It's pretty good. There's been a lot of great ones. Leitner's will always be number 1 to me.
The Valparaiso one.
That was a good one, but Valparaiso didn't do jack with it.
Chris Jenkins of Villanova won the championship.
Yeah, that was big. I didn't remember who it was, though. Leitner will always be 1. I don't know if that'll ever be beaten in my eyes.
Who was the he played in the NBA? I think Gordon Hayward. That is the shot that wasn't, right?
Right.
Like he makes that half-court shot and they beat Duke and win the national title. And he missed it by that much, right?
Which Vanderbilt had against Nebraska in this year's tournament. They had one from half court that was halfway in and it rattled out.
Oh, man. That's the one I would like to have seen gone in. It's up there. There's no, especially from a freshman, and especially the way they got the ball back.
If UConn wins the national championship, that shot probably becomes number 2.
Behind Leitner. Yeah, I would agree with that.
How do you not count the one that won the championship as number 1?
Because Duke was going for back-to-back and the incredible game that was.
Villanova did back-to-backs.
I don't care. I guess I just don't care about Villanova. I mean, I guess I just don't care as much.
I think
Nobody,
you
could ask 100 college basketball fans, and maybe 20 of them know Chris Jenkins. Almost all of them will know Christian Leitner.
That's not fair to Chris
Life ain't
Jenkins.
fair.
Traditional three-pointer that Chris Jenkins made, though?
Yeah.
Like, who was it? Tyus Edney? I'm trying to think of there was a UCLA guy that went coast to coast for a layup to win a game in the tournament. That was always replayed in two. But I think if you make a traditional shot, it just doesn't feel the same way. Like the Leitner, yes, it's a turnaround jumper from just beyond the free throw line, but it required a full court baseball pass. There has to be something unique about how the shot goes off. And to your point about the Valparaiso one, wasn't that like this long pass and then kind of a quick flip to the whichever Drew kid made it?
Kick out almost like a hook and ladder kind of
like
look.
No offense to Chris Jenkins, but it was a traditional three.
Carolina hits a 3-point shot to tie the game on the other end with just a couple of seconds.
Chris Jenkins was like they threw it down and then he came off of like a little baby cut.
They dribbled down, tossed it back to Jenkins.
That was a really great design play.
Buzzer.
But everybody remembers the coach being stoic after he hit it.
Yes.
Jay Wright, yeah. Buzzer beater goes in.
There ain't anybody beating Leitner.
Confetti fires. Nance on the call. Raftery's going crazy. Like, that's, to me, the greatest shot of all time.
I got one word for you.
You're putting that ahead of Leitner?
Yeah. He won the championship with the shot.
You're such a young person.
Without Leitner making that shot, they don't win their back-to-back. And Duke goes down. Duke goes down as the biggest dynasty since UCLA because of that shot.
Well, we can disagree on the most important or most memorable shots in NCAA tournament history. What we don't disagree on is that Associated Bank has the best customer service in the industry. They've got the awards to prove it. So whether it's early pay, whether it's credit monitoring, whether it's fraud protection, or if it's Packers, Badgers, or Brewers checking with some new perks that I'm going to tell you about soon when it comes to Brewers checking, Associated Bank's got your back. So go to AssociatedBank.com to find out more. We'll wrap things up next. It's Wilde Tausch.
Mark Tauscher here, and if you know me, you know I love Wisconsin. That's why I'm a UW Credit Union member. Their team's been all